Matter of fact, I'm gonna go live on this one phone because that's gonna mess up the quality. Can't go live on both.
Why don't you turn it off?
I'm not. I'm going live on. Oh, I'm going live on Instagram. Somebody else got
my kids into the world. Oh, loving kid. You know who I am? You know who I am? I'm the Don, the boss of the Great White Shark.
Yeah. What do you think the man trying to do this?
I'm in my whips on this other lanes, I'm in Boston. So close to a nigga like I'm Steve Austin. Got the drop in my lap, make you back around. Rebound a little bitch, yeah, I'm Charles Brown. Getting tired of these niggas popping at the side. Make me come up at your house, I'm seeing what you found. What you got, that's minutes in my pocket, diamonds in my mouth. We flipping shit like Benny Hunters, nigga, what you doing? I ain't worried about a nigga or about a hoe. I'm a nigga from the hoe, just worried about my dog. Just trying to maintain my paper, trying to stay afloat. About to bust down a piece, serving up a load. About the money, what you talk about? Yeah, it ain't getting probably what you talk about. Niggas trying to bring that drama, what they talk about. They say you got it for the low, what you talk about? Yeah, about the money, what you talk about? Yeah, what you talk about? Niggas trying to bring that drama, what they talk about? He said you got it for the low, what you talk about? We got that money, that's what I'm talking about. I did the radio. Walk it out, I see money falling down, but I never stand out. I said, I don't want to money telling you. So I swear I was still going saying about you be yanking on the side, you're always dancing on the block. We don't hate about the block. I see when I drop, you know, they shot it on the block. Bring it to the trunk, I took it out the shot. I get to the saying, man, I'm about to hit him with the shot. Everything the body drop, that's his life upon my block. Every money I'm talk, I'll turn you down, turn around.
I ain't no high school.
They got shit on this. They got shit on this. You like this shit, you don't like that shit. You like this shit, you don't like the other shit. For sure.
You ready, AP?
Is y'all ready?
Yeah, wait on you.
Y'all don't look ready at all.
I thought you didn't have it.
Hey,
I thought it wasn't in this email.
y'all don't look ready at all.
He yells at me. Because I tell him look at the email, but most of the shit's gonna be in this email.
Yes, start the intro, brother.
You out here?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna catch y'all on the show. Yeah, you see my comments. Happy New Year, brothers.
Happy New Year,
Happy
my
New
brother.
Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're gonna see. I got work this week, so I'll be back by Wednesday if y'all gonna be here. I'll be around Wednesday.
For sure. Somebody gonna be here.
That's your deal. We gotta get that beat together, bro. That's your deal.
Y'all, what it do, man? It's Revamp in this motherfucking 2021. Yes, hello, we made it. Did y'all make it? We made it, y'all. Hello, world. I know it's a beautiful day. I know it's a beautiful sight. But we made it. And we all right. Let's get it, y'all. To my right, you know who it is. But he needs no introduction. But I do. It's Louis motherfucking B. How y'all feeling out there? I can't hear y'all. It don't matter how I'm feeling, because what we gonna be feeling.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Revamp podcast, where we talk about ideas, concepts, and politics, all the way down to social issues. You feel me? My name is Serious Royale, aka Uncle Lonnie the Illusion Killer. And my man to the left needs no introduction because he already been introduced himself. Did I say introduced? I did. You feel me? We just waiting on our other, you know what I'm saying, our other comrade, but taking this time, this nigga came with the microphone. That's
Hi guys.
lovely. That's beautiful.
Hi guys. You are now tuned in to the Revamp podcast. We want to welcome you on this wonderful Saturday afternoon on the first podcast of the new year in 2020. It's amazing. We've came another year from 2020 to 2021. That's what it is. See? Don't I sound like a regular TV host? Always fucking up.
Why you gotta sit your bright ass right next to me, bro?
Because I missed you.
We look like
we now have Sin back in the building. It's amazing. This man has been gone for like how long? We don't even know how long. It's been just too long. We here at the Revamp podcast, we want to welcome Sin back with open arms, and we just want to show him that we appreciate his presence. You know, we appreciate him being here. You know, taking the time out to come wanting to sit with us and share knowledge on how he keep his beard up to date.
Right. Let's give it up for Sid's Beard 2021,
Give it up,
guys.
Let's go send some love.
2021 Sid's Beard.
Yes.
And we got to the right, far right.
He didn't even introduce himself. Did he introduce himself?
Nah, I ain't did.
Oh man, anytime you see me, you know that all my niggas gonna eat you for me. Anytime you see this face, anytime you see me.
Can't see your face. You have a mask on.
Oh, you can't see my face. Oh shit. Well, tune in to the rest of the Revamp podcast. The old episodes. Go back, go tune in to YouTube, like, subscribe, follow. Watch the old episodes. You'll see my face.
There we go.
Hey, I'm Ira. I'm special guest.
I'm Ira.
Special guest. I'm here to add my 2 cents when I can.
We got
Tell
Ira.
them what you do, nigga.
He asked us 2 cents.
Business. I do marketing. Yeah, pretty much.
Just all right, so what we was gonna do is we was gonna get into the original topics, but we gonna have some little, icebreakers until the rest of our co-hosts get here. Shout out to Action Royale and shout out to CABL, the last genius.
Who? Seed? Late seed?
Late Steve.
This is crazy, bro. You talk about a seed that grows in the concrete.
Oh,
You talk about a seed that. Come on, man. This is ridiculous, man.
So let's start off with something light, man. How was everybody's New Year?
that's not light, bro. You don't know what happened this whole year.
A lot of
That's
shit.
not light shit, bro. It's been a lot of
Hey,
shit.
don't bring that
going on.
negativity to 2021.
Yeah,
Don't come in with that bullshit.
but it's like-
For real. That lead up, that's in 2020, fam.
That was in 21. That just happened. It just happened.
I feel it, bro.
But I mean, we can talk about this. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about what we ain't gonna be bringing into 2021, then, bro. Since we're gonna have some more icebreakers, bro. What don't y'all want to see that was in 2020? What don't y'all want to see in 2021 within our community?
I don't want to see a movie.
Yeah. I can't really speak for the community, but me personally, I'm saying I don't want no negativity. So even if it come our way, it's all about just how you deal with the shit. So my shit is to look at everything with a positive outlook and do that type of shit. That's my shit.
I like that. I don't
No
know.
negativity. I hear that.
My year just been starting out that way, so
Negative?
nah, the opposite, man. It's been good. Like even the problems that I've had, you know what I mean? I now can see the value of my position and the blessings that I do have. Last year I took a lot of shit for granted, and this year, every day I've been stepping, and everything is good. Man. Just trying to stay in that state of mind.
Yeah.
Everything is good. What a great state of mind to be in.
What about you, AP? What don't you want to see that you've seen this year? You don't want to see?
What did I see in 2020 that I don't want to see in 2021? I have no answer for that.
No answer?
No answer. Because it's not like when we look at it, from year to year, 2020, 2021, 2019, 18, from year to year.
All right, so let me help y'all out because I think y'all sleep. So let me wake y'all up. I don't want to see no more twerking in 2021.
Good luck.
I'm done with this shit. I'm done. Hey, listen, females, I'm done with you twerking. Oh, hey, get off my fucking feet with this shit. Why don't y'all put on some clothes? Model clothes. I'm tired of seeing naked single bitches who still single and y'all still naked. It's not working.
How old do these females be that you see them doing this?
They're over 30.
Really?
How long you think it's been going on? You think that just happened just?
No, I think everybody just now starting to get that self-respect. You know, that fat girl, what's her name? That made her body so voluptuous and it's okay to be.
It ain't self.
It's okay to be out of weight and show. I mean, dude, this sexual energy for women is pathetic now, bro. Like y'all are using this for real, bro. You guys are abusing it.
You finna see more of that in 2020.
No, we're not. That's what we're doing. We're cutting that. We don't want to see it. We want to see a woman. We don't want to see her ass. Listen, this is what I want to say. I just came from Miami, right? So I don't want to see no more fake strippers no more. I'm tired of y'all talking about y'all strippers, bro. Like that shit. The shit y'all be talking about.
PhDs.
No, that should be trash.
They're going to school.
Their body is trash. You don't eat good food. You're eating hot chips and pickles. That should be trash.
They're doctors by day and strippers by night.
They don't even go get no booty.
Do they really be doctors by day and strippers by night?
They be trying to be
doctors.
No, in Miami, Atlanta, in Houston,
they be working
out in these places that's, real. Because out here, it's all, I say, y'all flabbergast the whole world, bro. Y'all be lying to y'allselves so bad that our reality is fucked up, bro.
Hey, man. Why you got so much negative aggression to all these beautiful?
And he said he wasn't gonna bring that in 2020, 2021.
Hey, these young women are working hard to pay their way through college. You understand me? Hey,
pay their way through law school.
These businesses taking our money, our taxpayer money, and going to take Airbnb trips and take pictures. And, man, we gonna get the fuck out of here, bro. They doing nerd shit, bro. They not even coming together.
Hey, man.
What I'm saying is that
the intellectual.
You didn't let me finish though. You didn't let me finish. That was only one half. The other half, I don't want to see no more niggas with pulling out less than your age and money, bro. So put it like this: if you are 18 years old, you should have 1800s, right? And so on for so on. If you're 23, you should have 2300s. If you're 32, you should have 3200s. I don't want to see no more 500s. I don't want to see no more 1500s. I really don't even want to see no more. I'm just saying if you guys are going to do it correct. I don't want to see none of that, bro. We've been looking at each other's social media for how long, guys? And literally been doing the same shit for 5-10 years. Everybody snap. Everybody's like, smoking in the car, chilling, playing music. Oh, look at my food. Like, for real, hey, I ain't seen nobody wash clothes, go grocery shopping. Bro, this year I want to see regular, real shit, please, bro. I'm tired of lies. I know y'all in real life. I'm tired of lies. I don't want to see no more lies, you guys. Seriously. Stop it. No more. Man. If it don't stop, I'm giving it 1 month. I'm a create a page and I'm a roast everybody. I'm telling y'all right now.
Nigga, you too old. Niggas getting money off lies. Niggas getting pussy off lies. Niggas winning off lies. Nigga, what you talking about?
Not 220, not 230.
Hey,
not 2021,
I'm seeing how these young niggas moving. Niggas don't got $1 in their pocket. They got 20,000 followers. How they moving? You feel me? They do be faking.
Most of the young,
what they want from
most of the young
they
using
it. They know how to use it.
Most of the young niggas is money. I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about if you're like 18 and under. I'm not. This is not towards you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to all the grown motherfuckers.
Just because you ain't the only one who got these responsibilities. Niggas, I'm still living my best life.
In the grand scheme of things, though, why we really here debating about what other people got in their bank account?
That's a good point.
Nobody brought up money. Nobody.
I mean, if I misheard, maybe I misheard you, but you was like people should have equate with in their bank account with their.
No, I said I don't want people. If you're gonna pull out money, pull out at least let it equate with your age.
So you think somebody should pull out 18 bands if they're 18?
But yet you're not talking to the ones that's 18 and younger?
You think somebody should pull out 32 bands if they're 32? That's crazy.
Why is this nigga? What the fuck?
What's that crazy?
For the simple fact, like, what do you have to prove?
It's not what do you prove. That the thing is that I don't want it in 2021 no more. And the point is, if you're going to do it correctly.
Because that's
the way Louis do it, right?
What I do is to really give some.
The way Louis do it. If you don't do it like Louis, you ain't doing it at all.
The point is
the way that you approve it.
So the many times that you was pulling out money,
having 32 bands at 32, that's proof.
It's not proof, but it's
like approval.
It's just like encouragement. Like you're going to you're not encouraging. What you're doing is you're setting people up, bro.
I know what they doing. I know what they doing, but I just want to know that that's your standard, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
All right. That's it. All right.
You gotta push that movement though. I want to see that.
Well, I already have pushed the movement. My circle, I have pushed.
But he ain't gonna get none of his wishes.
Listen, my circle in 2021, you can ask David. Shout out to the Shakers. You got ask him. I said, bro, everybody in my circle can't have no less than 10,000, and their immediate funds for investing. So meaning that your savings
an application to be in your circle.
I mean, it's a
you take IRS tax files in your circle.
You will see when the guest comes, right? So you'll see what we're talking about. So what I have
this
built,
nigga finna have Jeezy slide through.
What I have built is I'm building a black financial independent network, bro. And the way you do that, you have to establish discipline within emotionally, physically, and with your savings, right? And with your money.
You're a therapist.
So what I'm building is that I don't have time to really like go into everybody's life and play the and be the psychiatrist. So what we're gonna do is I can have a template of where the main thing is that everybody lacks as to be successful is discipline, right? Regardless of anything, is discipline. That's the only thing that separates a successful person from a bum.
So you teach discipline?
No, it's not that. We're just encouraging. So what you do is you
create a network that teaches discipline to people who have at least 10,000 or higher. It did definitely get completely off.
He said his piece and it's on Irish. That's my guess. Oh, right on time, baby. Who I said my guest was gonna be in the building. What it do, G? It's your boy, man. It's my boy Ted, everybody, man.
Oh, this is 10,000 and higher club?
Oh yeah, tell me, man.
AP.
You teach discipline too?
AP. That's what it is. What name you put it under?
AP.
AP. That's what I'm saying. You too.
Oh shit.
That's actually sweet.
Oh, that's actually.
Yeah, that's actually sweet.
Where? No, right here on video. So grab your shit.
No,
these are here.
Shit.
The guest. Wait till we ready for the guest, bro. No, we're right there. Matter of fact, hey, bro, just chill right there till we call you till we ready for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm sorry. We are on the show still.
Yes, we are.
Live.
Still live.
Yo, what was the conversation?
We was talking about he was saying what you want to see in 2021.
Oh,
What you don't want to see that made it. What you don't want to see happen in 2020.
What I do want to see, since I want to stay away from the negativity, what I do want to see is more more unity. You know what I mean? What I loved about 2020 was that black people realized that they need to stick the fuck together. I was like, yeah, no, my motherfuckers didn't pay attention. You know, they didn't learn something. Hopefully that continues into 2021. You feel me?
That's what's up. Shit, you said I went over?
You did go over there. Introduce my man, so we get into the conversations.
That's what I was saying. What did everybody do for New Year's when you coming home?
I went, you went, and 8%.
Anyway, we're trying to stall before the rest of our callers get here. And we're doing it.
You trying to bathroom stall? What?
Go ahead and fix that. Continue real quick.
So we got the ice broken. You know, everybody is swimming in the Arctic now. Yeah. No.
I need some fucking food. I'm hungry as
My nigga
shit.
Sam can't say
starving right now.
First day
I'm
back,
trying to stall
Sam
for-
left his brain.
Man, fuck.
Okay, so
We can talk about why I was gone. Or we can talk about how did y'all feel like the shows went previously? The 4 previous shows. How did they go?
They went awesome.
Shit, how long ago was it when I was on?
It was one episode since the last time you was on.
Oh, well, yeah, that episode was saucy since I was there. You feel me?
Was that the one everybody was roasting when he was up there masked up?
When, nah.
No. That's Action's most proudest episode.
What happened?
Where Meat Norson was here.
Who's that?
That's one of the co-hosts. Actually, shows latest shit.
No. I'm talking about the person, Mansoor. Who'd you say?
Sin?
No, you said it was that favorite episode because something.
Action's favorite episode?
Yeah.
The verb? Action?
Hilarious.
Action, no nickname is the verb.
Oh.
Because that's what an action is, a
Hey,
verb.
we kick us off with one of your topics real quick.
You want one of my topics?
For sure.
All right, I got an icebreaker topic.
Here's a topic. I want to introduce one of my guests.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm talking about, man, his story. We're gonna get to his story, but man, this young brother, man, I can tell you, really came from the mud and made it to and still rising, bro, to the top. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Yeah, young brother, my close brother. Give it up for Ted, y'all, man. Come sit over here, Ted.
Shout out, man.
Let everybody know, just a little brief disclaimer about yourself, man. How we moving? Camera right there.
Right there. Yeah, y'all. So my name's Tav. Nice to meet y'all. It's being this podcast here. It's a blessing, y'all. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, for sure. Like he said, man, not too much about me, but I'll let you know one thing, man. Just whatever situation you in, you don't feel good about it, just know you'll get off the mud real soon. You know, it's all about timing. Might not be on your time, but God's time is perfect timing. You know what I mean?
How'd you meet Louis?
Met Louis. So I met Louis here, hustling, man. You know what I mean? Grinding, getting it in. We used to hit the tables. And, from there, I knew, like, this man about his
Hit
business.
the tables. What is this?
Pool tables. I play pool.
Y'all used to be hustling at the pool tables.
Shh, getting down, man.
Oh. Y'all was sharking people.
For real. But yeah, I knew he was about his money, man. And, we had a few conversations, and, just connected. Yeah, this man about his business. You know what I mean? So.
What do you do?
Study. You know what I mean? Right now, I just try to master, making money manipulative. You know what I mean?
No, don't break it down.
So it's all a game. So this money scheme, everything, the way of life, it's a game right now. So right now, money got us in the game. We still on the insiders. We insiders right now. We trading in our time, for money. So we need to get on the outside of the equation, which, you trade, your money for time.
Right.
Make your money, make more time for you. And it's a rat race right now in the whole world, Everybody thinking about jobs and all this shit, but some people just stay on that wheel.
So what kind of passive income strategies?
I'm a big investor, man. So I hold a lot of stocks, dividend payouts. I invest in crypto currently just because the market is so volatile. You know what I mean? It's an easy way to flip your cash.
I just made 200 in Bitcoin.
That's what I'm talking about right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, look, I put a quarter down on Bitcoin when it was 3 racks back in March. That shit's at 30 a piece right now. So love the investment. You know what I mean? That's over 300% return right there.
And he did twice. I ain't gonna say that, bro.
No,
I told him to sell it, but he doubled it twice.
Yeah.
He sold half,
Yeah.
made it back.
Hey, but this is what I'm actually though. The cryptocurrency, I know they tax you on your profits. So I know. So I do also do Robinhood trading.
Yeah.
So I play with my initial investment a lot. Take it in, put it back. But I've never touched my profit. It's because I know once I get into that, it's going to the taxes. But how does that work when it comes to cryptocurrency?
So about like taking it out and everything.
Yeah.
First thing I do, anytime you made your profit, you want to take it out, never take it out, because even if you don't use that money, put in your savings, whatever, they gonna tax you on the money just because it hits your bank account.
So cryptocurrency got no difference. I was just trying to find a way around it.
Nah, there is a way around it.
Yeah.
So depending on what platform you use, they have different coins where stable coins. You know what I mean? Just keep it.
Bitcoin, stable coin, they have them.
Yeah. So they got one is US dollar coin. It's gonna stay here. It stays steady. $1. They got Zeos. That one it moved a little bit, but I mean for the most part it's stable. Or Zcash, that one too. It's stable for the most part. You know what I mean? So you gotta look into those coins. And like I said, the Bitcoin thing, you should just.
How does that get you around the taxes though? What you call capital gains tax?
Well, shoot. I don't know. Hey, I don't know what to say about it. 'Cause I don't take it out personally.
I think I might be able to, know somebody who has crypto accounts without the verification.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
So the question, what's your question? You're trying to figure out how
into an unverified account and then cash out.
Okay, that's smart. That's a lot of transfer.
So your initial question was, how do you
Get around capital gains tax.
So those things is you need to know. You know what an UGMA is? UGMA fund.
Oh yeah. Nah.
So you need an UGMA fund or a UTMA fund.
Before you go on, break down the UGMA fund.
I'm giving you both of them. So the UGMA fund. So the UGMA fund, all that is where you can put your metals, your prices, your metals, your stocks, your real estate, and to that fund, and that's tax free. Then you use your other one for cryptocurrency, stocks, and like big commercial real estates.
Wait a second. Hold on. So you saying with an UGMA fund, I can use that for real estate?
You use that for real estate.
Wait. Can I control the real estate investments though?
Everything.
With the UGMA fund?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Don't. Okay, wait. Hold on. So I can go buy a house, whoop 30,000.
Yes.
Whoop, flip that, give me my 80,000, redo it, and just keep.
That's how they've been.
Exactly. That's your.
I just gave you the game to how to do it. Nobody else know that. I want you to just ask me.
Yeah. I forgot about that shit. That's another way. But I just didn't know if crypto was, accessible to that.
That's for the TM.
Whoa.
Crypto and stocks is for.
How do you cash out?
The crypto.
No. The UGMA.
You don't. So when you get. So this stuff I really don't want to tell you. So.
That's an issue. Tell them.
Yeah, no, I know.
Quit being a bitch, nigga. Tell them. What the fuck wrong with you?
No, I know.
Nah, you don't know, nigga. Tell them.
So the way you cash out.
Cause I only got fucking $2 in Bitcoin, I invested $1 and I got $2.11.
Oh shit.
I'm up $1.11.
Hey, but that's better than your savings account gonna be.
I fucked around and just put it in there randomly.
Right on, sis.
Because on Bitcoin is too fucking high, boy.
Action to the building,
Look, one thing about this, that's a misconception though. A lot of people into the crypto market, they think the name is what you pay for. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as a polo brands. You feel me? You got Gucci and you got that Russell from Walmart. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But really, you get more for your money when you pay for the less.
For the lower shit, for the other shit.
Exactly.
Cause I be seeing them other coins, but I'm like, bro, I don't know if this shit.
No, but look at this. Bitcoin, let's just say it's at 30,000 right now, right?
Uh-huh.
If Bitcoin go up 2%, yeah, you're gonna see like a few $100 go up in your bank account or your crypto account. But it's so much harder for Bitcoin to go up 100% than a smaller crypto that costs you 2 pennies to go up 100%. Because 100% 2 pennies is now your equity is 4 cents.
This is what I've been thinking about, right? Thinking about actually help develop a brand for a cryptocurrency. You feel me? It's a cryptocurrency built by a lady in Atlanta, though. But I want to really just blow that shit up.
Yeah.
And you feel me?
Yeah.
Again, at the same time, that's a black thing for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
That's real, but you have to. So with the
But wait,
what else do it? You just put it.
I'm trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know what I mean? So
You gotta invest 10
I'm
bands.
still doing my own research.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, because right now it's like when I'm looking at it's like 2 cents, but the
It's
name's
not 2
so
cents.
fucking saucy.
Yeah.
It's like it's swagged out. The name of the coin.
Yeah.
So
Is it on
Okay.
Coinbase?
Huh?
Is it on Coinbase? It's not tradable yet.
it is, but it need work. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, it got the basis down.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's already got the infrastructure.
The initials, then we're gonna be 10 band investments. So when you start, because you're trying to come in as a whale, so you're gonna be a baby whale right here. So to run to be controls. So put it like this: Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk owns Bitcoin. Right?
I just say this: at 2 cents, I put $1,000 and turn it to $1.
Exactly.
No, I'm trying to show
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So you got two whales that own Bitcoin, right? Right, that owns the majority of the shares of Bitcoin. So how they did this in the beginning, because they probably they put in 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, if she's this, and if you believe in this product like that, you put in that's the same as what I'm trying to show you. It's the equal. So 10,000 would be the same thing as 100,000. So you'll be this how you see how they are right now with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You'll be the whale at that time. But I'm just saying when you start doing these investments, just know that I'm gonna need 5 to 10, bro. Just for those type of investments. Any other ones that you could go lower.
What you talking about for what?
To try, because what
What are you talking about for you?
No, for because you're trying to get gain. You're trying to gain.
Wait. What's
Majority of the shares.
What's the 5 or 10,000 for?
So investment wise, when you want to, try to, get some.
I already got
If you're
stuff.
trying to be a part of Louis Disney.
Not
No.
them, not
No.
mine. The coin that you're talking about, right? You say you want to help blow it up, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what you will want to do is invest 10,000 already into the coin, then market it, then help blow it up.
Yeah.
If you do all that, you already have owner share. So when she comes and highlights you, oh, thanks for help marketing, then she'll give you more shares. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then it
Gotcha.
becomes,
Gotcha.
but you need to have a good investment. You need to have an owner.
Followers like that.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, shoot. Not the majority of us is here though. Sis, was you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
My food is sitting here.
Let me just see, bro.
You bought all fish, bro?
I do.
Damn, bro.
We like coochie.
I'm
We
saying y'all
cannot
smoke without me, then that's what's up, bro.
You like coochie?
I don't even own nothing, dog. I just told myself, bro, you see any alcohol? I'm not even
Alright.
fucking a lot of shit this year, dog.
So we got a couple main topics we want to get into this episode.
Dude got some
First off, I
special-
want to shout out this food from Lena's Soul Food. Black-owned restaurant. Go support. Everybody want to shout out they tacos and gorditos from fucking
I ain't heard
every
nobody
Mexican
shout
truck
out.
I know you
around
looking
town.
at me. I don't be telling nobody where I eat if it ain't
We
good.
went and shopped and ate at a black-owned restaurant. Yeah, tell Nye we shot black today.
Wait, what?
So like I was saying, we're gonna get into something into this book I was reading. It's about Robert Greene. I don't know if y'all know who Robert Greene is.
Yeah, we know who Robert Greene is.
I was talking to the people out
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, who's Robert Greene though? For people who don't know, Louis.
He wrote the 48 Hours of Laws. 48 Hours of Law. He wrote the Wars.
Oh, what?
You know,
Art of War.
The Art of War. There's another book I like that he wrote.
Sun Tzu wrote the Art of War, bro.
Who?
Sun Tzu.
The Art of War.
Yeah.
So he don't know.
50th law of power.
Power. I mean, read on that
Come
part.
on.
Art of seduction.
The one with 50 Cent.
It was a different one then. It was about the war then.
AP got some pretty dope ass interesting topics that we gonna get into, bro. That's saucy as fuck, some futuristic type of shit.
But is that who Robert Green was?
50 of Law, he did co-write, but yeah, he did
48
right there. Yeah, that one as well.
Okay.
And then action is got educational type of
Action,
thing. Talking about education and kids with guns.
Yeah.
Kids with guns. So basically, how we do this now is everybody has 30 minutes to facilitate. I think I'm gonna go first to try to like
Break the ice some more.
kind of break the ice some more. So like I said, my topic was self-directed warfare. Before I even get into it, what does that sound like real quick? Like, when you hear self-directed warfare, what does that mean to you?
Warfare within the self. You're saying the word.
You know what's crazy? Is we went through a rehearsal. Didn't we go through this rehearsal? Didn't we rehearse the same very scenario? And I brought up that same answer because I knew somebody was gonna say it. I knew somebody was gonna be like, "World self." Keep going.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
No,
The same exact scenario, bruh. There's our motherfucking boo.
Anyway, so like I said, it's a very good chapter. It's the first chapter in the book, and it has some key points that stuck out to me that I just wanted to talk about and shit. And hopefully we can bounce these ideas off of each other and shit. But I took some notes and shit. And like the first one of the notes from the first chapter was your mind is the starting point of all war strategy and manifestations. And that's pretty fucking saucy because it's like something that we always talk about on the show. It's like how your mind pretty much creates your reality and shit. So pretty much, like we just talking about leaving the bullshit in 2020. If you thinking positive, you'll have positive results. So your mind is a very powerful tool in how it shapes your surroundings and shit. So I just kind of wanted to go around it real quick and see like what does this mean? Like AP, what would this mean to you? Your mind is a starting point of all wars and strategies.
You have an answer before you do all that?
So
I was in the middle of doing that when you picked me.
Thank you, sir.
It means all wars start from the way that you think. So if you feel like somebody did something wrong to you, it's because you thought they did something wrong to you. It didn't have to be taken that way. So you don't have to have war because of. You could just go on about your day.
That was a great point of view. Lee, did you have anything to say?
Yeah. That war starts first in the mind. It explains on how all explains how the 1% controls the masses with the same.
This is called self-direct. We're not talking about none of that. So let me redirect it, bro. This is called self-directed warfare. And one of the notes is saying, my mind is the starting point of all war strategy and manifestation. So we're not talking about no 99%. We're not talking about 1%. We're talking about your mind. But
Now, I mean, if that's what it feels to you, go ahead and express yourself. So just explain it.
So the 1% controls the masses by manipulating your mind to do what?
Now, how does that relate to the question? Just bring it on back
war.
for me.
So how does war start in your mind? You have to manipulate yourself. What is war? I mean, you don't even let me talk. You're asking a question. Ask me a question and then tell me that I'm not answering your question. Why won't you answer the question how you want to answer the question? Because everybody's looking for one answer.
Hey, and that's what it said. Hey, and that's where the war starts, right here.
In your mind. In your mind.
It's all good. Come on.
Holds the solution to every war.
What did you do? How y'all feel about it?
So we're gonna answer at the same time. Who you wanna go first?
I want to see y'all answer at the same time. I believe that.
No,
would
you.
Let me set an example. Okay. I guess it's my 30 minutes real quick. Action, go ahead.
Okay, when I think of self-directed warfare and how it builds strategy and manifestation, all that stuff, like you could be bringing on something based on all the factors that you've either thought of or left out because it's in your mind. So before you go to war with somebody, you should always identify, like, is this some, like, you should already be, I guess, sizing up your opponent, looking at the resources you got, looking at the resources that they have, if it's an actual threat, things like that. So if you've already done those type of thoughts, that strategy, and it manifests when you're actually gearing yourself up to actually do it. And I think you could do that with yourself mentally on certain things that you want to do in life and with someone else externally. If that makes sense.
I did. Oh, it's saying my mind is a starting point of all war strategy and manifestation.
So I feel like I got to do with more of your actions and basically a mental process following up to that. So of course, whatever happens is going to happen. But you had to think it first. You know what I mean? Think it through. Especially like if it gets to like situational things. All your answers, your opinion is based off something you have to think. You know what I mean? And your thought process is affected by, just emotions. You feel like all your other senses tie into how you think. You know what I mean? Or you feel in a certain situation. I'm not explaining like I feel like manifestation is you thinking and you strategizing, analyzing everything just with your mind. So.
Oh shit.
Just telling you how important your mind is, you know what I mean?
Okay, hell yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, that chapter is hella dope and shit, because it was one part of chapter 2. It was like reflecting on your past and shit. And I was just like, basically, it kind of had me reflecting on shit because it was saying like, reflecting on your past is a weak trait.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that. Like, it was saying basically, a weak mind is overwhelmed by emotion and rooted in the past. So I was just thinking, I wasn't talking about like a time where we're gonna start with Louis.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You said reflecting on the past is a weak trait.
That's stood out in my
No,
mind
it
too.
said a weak mind is overwhelmed by emotion and rooted in the past.
He said it, but he didn't say, he didn't quote
That
it
was
correctly.
his summary of
Yeah,
it.
he didn't quote it correctly.
Louis, you read the book?
You didn't quote what you just read right there. You just told him that you just told him when you were reading.
Because the first thing you said was reflecting on the past is a weak trait.
I said the next part of the chapter had me reflecting on my past, and then I went to what the book said.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about, I wanted to ask people in the room, was there ever a past trauma that you was ever overcome, and what was it? Can we start with action? It don't gotta be a try, you gotta be on the deep like that.
No,
I'm thinking of one
Pick these words.
I don't think you ever really get over trauma. You just manage it because once you've gone through trauma, you kind of learn how to deal with certain situations, or it could keep you from dealing with certain situations. I don't think you ever just get over trauma.
Well, was it a situation that you felt hindered you before that you was able to move beyond? Whether it was a trait or a certain pattern, any type of addiction, don't have to be like drugs necessarily, but just a bad habit or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was a task that you felt like you couldn't do, that you was able to do.
I don't think so. I mean,
Task right now? Skip.
no.
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 I just
She got an answer or not.
I mean, I feel like I have an answer, but I also don't feel like I'm gonna criticize his question without actually thinking about it. I don't think I should be sped up to get an answer and then don't answer correctly. But I don't think that I've ever gotten over trauma. I think if anything, I've been able to manage it. So I'm gonna reiterate that answer. And I say that because me going through certain things, it can't hinder me. I don't think, because I process it at some point. So before I do something and it looks familiar to something that was traumatic, I go, okay, is this a situation that I can do without? Like, do I have to see it through? Or, well, what happened to me last time when I tried to do something similar? So I don't think it ever hinders me. I think it just reminds me that maybe I shouldn't do that again or deal with that certain person again or something like that. But I don't think it's ever a hindrance.
Would you say everybody has triggers?
Yeah.
Where would you say triggers come from?
Trauma, some form of trauma.
So are triggers?
Hell,
Do you think we heard? You say no?
No.
Or
No.
you
Not
say-
all of them.
not at all.
Some triggers come from like.
Sagittarius, we get irritated over anything. There ain't no fucking trauma just because
But
we
would you say
irritated.
that that's necessarily a trigger, though?
What would
No,
be a
because
trigger?
it's.
I mean, in context with what he's talking about, he's not talking about happy times when you went to the.
So we talk. So,
ice cream.
all right. So what
Like-
is the context?
I'm
that
saying
I'm trying to
trigger
figure
as
out
in
what we're talking
being
about?
obviously
When
trigger. You're being opposite of the mood that you're in. So
But when he was saying trauma hindering a weakness being stuck in the past stuff, it wasn't talking about good times. So my
I'm
thing
not
is,
saying good times.
so my thing is, if someone is triggered, it's a negative thing. Because sometimes you can be triggered to a happy moment in life and stuff
I'm
like
saying
that.
as a Sagittarius, we are irritated at any given moment. It's not from trauma.
But I'm a Pisces and I'm easily irritated.
So it has nothing to do with trauma.
So it also ain't got nothing to do with zodiac signs.
What's that?
Because you keep using Sagittarius as a premise to excuse being triggered. And my thing is, triggers, it had to come from, in
So
his
let's-
context,
can we
it had to come from some negative impact.
Can we describe
you're a
what-
woman and it's two guys, and I don't want to just use two men.
Can we
Like,
define what
emotions.
triggers are? Like, what are we talking
So
about
I
in terms
said-
of triggers?
From an
Sometimes
outside point,
I would say as close as I
Hold on,
can.
Louis. Hold on.
I would say as close as I can. Triggers are sometimes uncontrollable emotional outbursts or reactions that you know, based on something that somebody else may not know that they're doing, but it like the word says, it triggers something that happened to you. It takes you back to where you react in a certain way.
Something that changed you, impacted you,
Yeah.
traumatized you, things like that is not, in this context, it's basically
So in this
walking right back
PTSD
to trauma.
system,
Even, some people are triggered by certain topics, like certain things, like, but don't bring that up around him. He doesn't like to talk about that.
Mhm.
That's a trigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So certain people have certain triggers. Certain people may not like their shit touched by other people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, so let's say that somebody don't like their shit touched by other people. If that's like a trigger, like how does it have to tie to something traumatic? Could it just be like
It could
I don't like my shit touched?
It could have been when you were younger that you had your shit taken against your will. Like maybe your parents took your shit, older siblings may took your shit. So now you may not realize it, but now as an adult, it's like, nigga, leave my shit alone. Because subconsciously, you're triggered.
So that almost makes any reaction to anything a trigger at that point.
It could be though, and is that wrong? Like my thing
Well,
is,
then at that point, we're no longer describing trigger as something that's negative anymore. It's broad. It's whatever now. It's an action.
But some,
It's a response to anything.
But you're
So-
talking about a conscious response. What we're saying is a trigger is an uncontrollable emotional reaction.
I
It's
mean, it
almost
can
like
be
an outburst.
It can be an uncontrollable whatever response.
you're not gonna be conscious.
No, because you can be consciously irritated and be like, "Bruh, put my shit down," and you're consciously aware of what you're doing, as opposed to like you just having an outburst and really having to catch yourself like, "Oh shit."
So hold on. All right. So I want to ask you this: what is the traumatic situation that happened between you and Louis? The reason why you yell at him every time he put his hands on you?
We gotta elaborate on that.
We're talking about triggers and trauma. I want to know now.
Hey, you explained it.
He's a savage.
Damn, I don't like being touched, bro. I just don't
Why?
touch me.
What happened?
Why?
It's a trigger.
Well, yeah, why triggered? What happened?
Let me see. If I really have to get I don't know. I just feel like it's a violation. I just feel like, bro.
Only
respect
when
my
I touch
personal-
you though.
No, anybody, bro. Like, just get out my personal space, bro. Like, don't touch me, bro. Like, don't do that.
But where's the trauma though?
So I just looked.
I never said that was trauma. You just said that. I never said that was my trauma.
So I just looked up. Can you be triggered without trauma?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, y'all can keep talking, but
No. That's kind of what I want to like. So
it says, while many experts believe that trigger warnings allow people who've experienced trauma to decide whether they're prepared to see or read something, others think they're potentially harmful to people who haven't experienced trauma. So, like at some point, even with or without trauma, you got to learn how to cope through your triggers. So, to me, I feel like they kind of are the same. It doesn't say that it is or isn't. It just says like at some point, trauma intertwines with triggering. At some point, it's there.
So trigger and trauma are two different concepts.
Yeah, but they're like they're almost one and the
I
same.
feel like one. I say they go hand in hand almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you go through something at some point, even if it didn't impact you enough for you to remember the actual incident. Something is telling you that this is a violation to myself, my well-being, my space. Something.
Can I give an example? I'll give an example real quick. One of my traumas used to be like performing, and being that when I was younger, performing is a part of like doing music. If you do music, you gotta perform. You feel me? But before, I used to be afraid to get on stage and shit. But the more open mics I went to, you feel me, that fear usually just faded away. It faded to to the back and shit.
But that's not trauma.
Open mics.
It is trauma. If you let me explain why I was afraid to perform, bro. So that's fucked up, bro.
Or spoken word.
Okay, I apologize.
Chop that down.
You know what I was saying when I was young, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, bro. I used to be trying to dance and shit. My mom told me I couldn't dance, bro.
What kind of dance?
Bro? I don't know. It's like Michael.
Now I need to see Sin dance for the Revamp podcast.
Just imagine that.
We gotta see that, bro.
You dance. That's all. Like, what kind of dancing?
He said that nigga jerking in the middle of the living room.
I see.
Hold on, he said it fucked him up though, bro.
Be like a Marion and Usher.
I was just playing with it, bro. He said he's a Virgo for real, bro.
That fucked me up though. That was like 4, and ever since then, like I don't like to like dance in public and shit. That's why right now to this day, if I ever was in like in a public place, like I'm always chilling. I might be the one chilling with a drink in my hand or something against the.
You gonna do the wave?
Not only that, if we out in public, I gotta start the Go Lonnie chant.
We gotta do it, bro.
I gotta do it now. This is gonna really make you mad. You gonna try to get away from it, but the spotlight gonna follow you. Go Lonnie!
Go Lonnie! Go Lonnie! Bro, and it's gonna be a big old circle around you
It's gonna
too.
be a big ass scene, and I just imagine you doing
They gonna break out breakdancing. It's gonna be
That nigga gonna pull the cardboard out of nowhere,
They
bro.
thought I wasn't hip
We
hop.
gonna just whip it out though. It's gonna unfold, bro.
I thought I wasn't hip hop. Start b-boying,
Damn.
break the cardboard out. We gonna do
All right, so that was my example. I got over my fear of performing by actually forcing myself to do more performing and doing more open mic. So that was my thing. That was an example. Does anybody else have something they would like to,
I just thought about that. Yep, I do have a trauma or a trigger. I don't know. Maybe by the time I give the example, somebody will know.
It's a trigger trauma.
I have I'm fearful of swimming.
Ooh, what?
Yeah. I don't know how to swim. I don't know
Me
how to
neither.
swim.
I know how to drown though.
And my thing is, I know what the youngest memory I have of learning how to swim was my mom trying to show us how to swim, but she panics, and it started making me feel like something must be wrong. I know another time I fell in a pool with my aunt, and she couldn't swim to help me. But
so nobody saved you?
So her boyfriend was there and he got me out. But it wasn't like I was drowning for how long. I don't even know how old I was. Probably like 7, 8.
Damn.
And then, there's been other instances where like I might feel like I'm about to drown, but I'm not. Like I'm not even that far in the water. But I don't know if it hinders me per se, Yeah, it does in a sense because I haven't learned. I'm old enough. I can afford to learn.
Right.
And I just
still
haven't.
Take the time.
Yeah, and I just haven't. I have not made that a priority. I have not made that a priority, like even in the summertime, to like learn. But I keep telling myself, like when I go in the water. But what has been getting me out, like the jet skiing and shit that I've been doing with my boyfriend and stuff, like I've been getting out in the water. But at first I was like afraid to go out there. So like I do feel like I'm getting more comfortable with being in the water.
Right.
But I'm still scared.
Still.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody else want to go, I got a question.
I don't know. I didn't hear APs. That's all good. I didn't hear C's either. Or Iris.
Yes, every other seat is in the building.
See, you got any trauma that you passed up? And
That you passed up?
Damn.
No, I don't want that trauma, man.
All right, so I got a question. Do you think trust is natural or distrust natural? So as human beings, are we naturally more inclined to be trusting first, or we are naturally inclined to be distrusting?
you got 3 more minutes.
For sure, family.
I'm going to say we're naturally inclined to trust.
I would agree. What about you, Steve?
Distrust is taught.
I would agree.
What?
What about you, Steve?
Distrust is taught?
I don't know. It depends. Let me ask you a couple questions.
Oh, damn.
If somebody was looking for me, right? You don't know where they from.
Right.
You don't even know what their skin look like.
Right.
They just weirdly looking to you. You cannot describe them at all.
Right.
And they'd be like, "Hey, have you seen Seed?
Right.
Whoa.
Because Seed said he owed me something,
Right.
and I want to get it from him." Will you tell that said thing or person
No.
where I'm at?
Ooh, I like that. I really do like that though. It really explains. What is y'all
I
now?
probably
What is y'all now, nigga? Straight up.
Can I answer that?
That's
Of
hard.
course, now I'm gonna say no, but the reason why I'm gonna say no is based on past experience.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
So this happened before?
I'm saying
Please tell me. Get him, see? Please tell me.
dealing with experience dealing with strangers.
Okay.
Not in this exact scenario that
Oh,
you described, but just scenarios with dealing with strangers and disappointment. How
All
that
right.
ensued. So, with that being said, based on my past experience, I would say no. Bro. I don't know who you're talking about, bro. But that's not. But all that past experience was taught. Those was lessons. So that's
What if they say I got $1 billion for Seed? I'm about to give it to him right now. But you gotta show me where he at right now. No, we all gonna split the money together.
I love this nigga, bro.
What would you do then?
Give me the $1 billion.
Now he coming with it, bro.
still
Give me the $1 billion. I'll give it.
I don't give a fuck what y'all tell me. He coming
What
with
do you
it.
mean you'll give it to him?
I'll give it to him.
Just
You
look.
give what, Seed?
Yeah.
You gonna give him Seed up or
I'm not.
No, give me the $1 billion.
Y'all don't be
and I'll give
listening
it
for
to
shit.
You gonna give the $1 billion?
No.
So
So he's saying basically, I'm not gonna give you C's location, but you can give me the $1 billion. I'll go give it to C.
So I can trust you.
The $1 billion.
At that point, you don't have no choice because this person don't even got your contact information.
Look,
But
look, fam,
at the end of the day, he came to this person.
I'm gonna put it to you like this,
Now
bro.
the
You
trust
gotta
is-
trust
I'm gonna
me.
still turn that shit
The
down
trust
because
is-
if you know where to be found with a nigga supposed to owe you $1 billion, but that's your loss, fam.
Exactly.
How you know where to be found? You know a nigga got $1 billion for you.
You ain't a true
No.
friend, bro. You
That's
ain't
for
a true
sure.
friend.
Hey, I call you, bro.
For sure,
You don't want
bro.
my nigga.
You see Wolverine?
You.
I will walk to my feet.
How you gonna- how you gonna take
You
it?
don't want my nigga to.
Hold on,
Hey,
time out. I
my
still
nigga
got-
need that
Hold on,
$1
bro. I
billion,
still
bro.
got 2 minutes, bro. Hold
You
on,
just-
bro. I
you
got
just-
you.
And I'm saying, see, this ain't
Shut the
whole
fuck up.
topic.
Nah, you
Now
ain't
we
got no
on
minutes.
this.
Look.
That ain't even what
Go ahead.
that's not even what the topic was. So now we
So
on
now the topic, look, so the topic still, bro, is trust or distrust what you think is natural. Nobody, not the room, bro.
But he
Room
proved
not-
it though. I ain't gonna lie to you. See, he proved it right
What
there.
did he prove?
I don't him.
I mean,
Oh,
we still need a straight answer, not a scenario question to answer.
We need the room to answer because only 2 people answer.
I don't even know. Wait,
Well-
repeat the question.
Do you think trust is in human
more
nature
natural than
than
distrust.
distrust?
Is it more easier to distrust somebody than trust somebody?
But in my opinion, it depends on the scars. Because if your experiences is always good experiences, trust is easy.
I want to answer.
See, you can trust me to bring you $1 billion.
Because I run into some gullible people all the time.
Okay.
He gullible?
I mean, they're trusting. You know what I mean? They're trusting.
Look how you describe being trusting, though.
What about you, Ashley?
I believe.
Hey, hit the lights, man. No.
That's because I'm scarred, nigga.
Damn.
It's real though.
Fuck.
But oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hi guys. Oh,
Hey.
where I'm at? I'm in y'all shit? Oh, it's
No.
not there. Okay. Where can I go? I'll sit here. Who first?
Mine.
You gonna ask that question?
I
Yeah, it's Louis. Louis just got it.
don't think. I think you're born with a certain spirit.
Hey, it's on action.
I'm
right
sorry,
now.
action. That was funny.
The one you go.
All right, take two. Take two.
And I
Take
have this
two.
grandma.
Oh shit. I think you're born with the ability to know who to trust and who not to trust. Like even babies don't feel comfortable with certain people. I don't think it comes from trauma. I think it's a spirit thing. Like we're all in tune with it. I think if you trust too much, you're not listening to that spirit inside you. That's just why there's a good chance that when you're too trusting, somebody's going to take advantage of it. Because you're not listening. And they're already giving you hella signs. And you just keep bypassing it. But babies know.
Yep.
Animals know.
Yep.
And they listen to their shit. So, yeah. There you go.
That's why my kids don't fuck with certain people to this day.
Yeah. Like,
My sisters. No ma'am.
Which brings me to my last note.
But people gonna take advantage of you.
Which brings me to my last note before I end the show facilitating. The last thing that stuck out to me in this chapter though was clarity and motivation creates room for true friendship. Can anybody relate to that?
but can you repeat that part?
Clarity and motivation creates room for true friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can?
Yeah.
How you
I agree
do
with
it?
that.
Does it?
Because communication, right? With communication, you get clarity on boundaries, you get clarity on people's intentions, and then what motivates them to be your friend in the first place. Is it because you have something that they need, you fill a void, or if y'all genuinely are literally just two souls that complement each other? So if their motivation is to start off as y'all met in school and y'all were study buddies or something, motivation was pure, right? And then y'all just kept building. But if your study buddy started realizing you keep passing all the tests and now they're just being cool with you because they can cheat off you, then that clarity is going to come at some point.
Sure. Anybody else?
I say maybe not.
Of course.
There's room for clarity and what else?
Clarity and motivation.
Clarity and motivation to obtain true friendship.
How did she do that?
Clarity
I
and
didn't-
motivation
she's
creates
keeping
room for true friendship.
Yeah. See, you can be clear and motivated in a field of study or whatnot, and not give a damn about friends and not worry about friends.
I was gonna say it ain't the only thing that make up a friendship, but it's for sure key points. That's what I was
room for
Add
friendship.
to it. What was you?
Well, it says creates room for true
Exactly.
friendship.
Meaning
So,
means it opens up the space for you to have true friendship, but
Right. That was
not all
True
the time.
friends?
Do I have any true friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is it? When is it not?
But look,
I don't.
if I have clarity and motivation, let's say about something that I know I'm supposed to do, like you feel me, whatever my career is, like I'm supposed to be focused on that, and I know that's where my motivation, and I'm clear on that. So I'm pushing so hard for that I'm not worried about no friends.
But the universe will bring those type of people you need to help you get those goals accomplished. Bro.
and on top of that still goes back to motivation. If you're not motivated to make friends, you ain't gonna make nothing.
But then look at a lot of the people that's in the music industry, or a lot of the people that's even in high successful places that's not living, you feel me, with true friends around them.
No, let's not look at those people.
I mean, but then again, that goes back to their motivation. If their motivation isn't to build lasting friendships, but more so build a network, they're not gonna make. They're not.
So that's what I'm saying. It depends. I guess to summarize what I'm saying, it depends on where that motivation and clarity lies, where you place it.
Well, that's why it says creates room. Like that's the key. Like right there is the key 2 words right there.
Yeah. So,
So you can either create that room or you can shut that room off. So right now it's saying if you got those 2 things, it creates the space for it. You don't have to take it, but it's there with clarity and motivation. I think because of that, those 2 words alone is true.
I guess.
And with that being said,
And understanding. I feel like it's missing some shit.
with that being said,
Potato.
if you haven't read it, go ahead and get you 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. It's a dope ass book. That was chapter 1, self-directed warfare. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic to the next person who's gonna drop their topic, whoever that person shall be.
I'll take it.
All right. Start the timer.
Already got it, even though you were 8 months over.
Penalize this nigga.
Is he rebanned from the
If he get a total of 10 minutes over, he's rebanned.
Oh shit.
Reband.
I would like to add a topic.
Hold on. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hold on.
So this first topic is both of my topics are not related to the other. So the first one, it's about the power of receiving things from people who had good intentions and you squandering the opportunity to be a good person in return.
Wait, what?
Squandering the opportunity of being a good person to someone who is being good to you. Like, do you feel like that can bite you in the end, even if that person is not your karma? Like later on.
Whoa.
Hold on. What do you mean by being? What do you mean,
like say for instance, someone
repaying a favor?
Not even necessarily repaying a favor. Okay, say for instance, someone. You need somewhere to stay, so they let you stay in their guest house in the back, right? Something happens to said guest house.
What you mean?
It burned down?
Maybe
you just
something fucked up, and now it affects that person, right?
Oh,
Maybe you subletted the place out to someone. Something happened to that person. Now they're looking for that person to.
You subletted
y'all looking
guest house,
something like that. Just whatever. Okay, the main house. Fuck it. Y'all subletted.
Because that's the whole issue.
Okay, so fuck it. The person needed somewhere to stay. Bottom line.
Okay.
You then give them the opportunity to have stable shelter, and something happened to said place while you were off at your main house, whatever, and they never tell you nothing. They just go on about their life, right? It comes back to you that, hey, now you're in trouble because whatever happened in that home while you were away is now coming back to bite you because you did something good for them.
Yeah.
When you reach out to them, they come at you crazy. Mind you, you didn't give this person this shit for any ill motive. Do you feel like there's an opportunity for you to just chalk the losses, or would you pursue for them to pay you back now? Or would you just say, you know what, I did something good, whatever, this is what happens when you do something good?
Why can't I be like OJ?
No, I'm just
Who you want to answer first?
You.
All right.
What?
It depends on it. You can look at that shit from hella angles, because I feel like anybody who looks at it like, I'm gonna walk away from it, let karma handle it. That's probably a more spiritually in tune person. Because a lot of other people would probably like try to go out and handle that type of shit. So me, where I'm at with it, I would try to look at it as like, yeah, karma usually bite people in the ass, so you really don't have to do nothing. You can just sit back and watch. Like karma usually, like people, you get what you give. What goes around comes around. I believe in that shit. I was told that shit from a kid. Like, what goes around comes around. So, like, watch how you treat people. Treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? I guess certain things may cause for, like, action, and certain things you can just kind of sit back on. I think in a situation like that, if they was being funny or something, and there was no way to get your shit through.
Yeah, I agree. It depends.
Let karma handle that shit.
Let karma handle it.
Sometimes.
Yes,
to piggyback off Sid Royale. So what they didn't tell us about is that karma does come back around. They told us the little first parts about karma, but they haven't told you the inside how it works. So in order not to receive the person's karma that is done to you is to not give it energy. So what happens is if
Nigga, don't give it energy.
So what happened is if I come with you at this negative energy, negative karma, right? I did something, boom, to you. You thinking about it, you taking on plans, you manifesting it. Now you have just received that karma that was supposed to go to him. So what happened in a cycle of life, what happened nobody understands is that they're just recycling the same karma back and forth because they're not forgiving.
Yeah. Or learning a lesson.
We recycle karma, but not bottles and cans and plastic. Shame on this world.
Damn, fuck. What else?
Well, there's a karma. There's a goddess for karma. Ain't no goddess for recycling over here.
Damn.
And speaking of
see,
goddess of karma, do you guys do realize they have let a lot of entities in, and these are some type of entities, and they are some gods to some people. I would just say about that.
Okay. All right, see, you have an answer.
What's the question again?
Are you serious? See,
quite serious.
It's a lot to process, man.
I mean, because is the scenario that I threw it off?
No, if it's a good question, if it's a good question, you'll be proud to repeat it.
No, I'm just asking. So if I have to ask it different,
yeah,
then
because
I'll
it's
do
a
that.
scenario, because she has to say in the scenario. Remember?
No matter. Ask the question.
Because basically this
I threw it off.
it's not about me, but someone I know basically is in a bind now because they did something good for someone else. So yeah, and it's like it's not too many options. You can't tell that person because it's like, damn, we know you did something good for that person, but then partly it's like, well, damn, is it your karma or is it their karma? If you don't pursue it, is it their karma? Or is it like should you pursue action on this person? Because
it could just be somebody's blessing.
It's the virtual life.
It could be something that's going to transpire to something great.
It could be your blessing, but just how you
Wait.
Okay.
I got lost. The person who
did a good thing is now fucked up and they worried about what now?
Yeah, you know when you do the whole trusting factor.
Their response when we were giving advice was like, we were like, hey, you should sue them, you should do X, Y, Z, and they said, you know what? No, it's their karma, but it's putting them in a bind right now. So it's like I get where they're saying just let the karma handle it, and they'll just handle it on their end and be done with it.
So
but
if they were to take legal action, would they not be in a bind?
They're gonna be in a bind either way it go.
So fuck it.
But it might not be because basically they just have to get the liability off of themselves. And that's all they gotta do. But they're looking at it like, okay, if I do this,
so
then I'm stitching.
Is it insurance? Does anybody have any insurance? Any house insurance?
And legal matters
that was
take
just a scenario.
way
Like
too long.
it's not the actual scenario. I was trying to remove the actual scenario, so that's just why the house might seem a little odd. But it's a more simpler property, but it has more of an instant legal problem to it. Because the release of liability wasn't done. Now I feel like I'm giving too much.
See, now that sounds like either they really just don't know the repercussions and don't care, or they have an emotional reason why they won't just go and say fuck how they feel and go to get their shit taken care of.
Yeah, because when they reached out to tell this person, hey, you're putting in a bind, they were met with a lot of basically, bitch, fuck you. It ain't got nothing to do with me now. Why are you even reaching out to me?
Right.
That's
probably easier for them
to
fix the situation.
So that's what I'm saying. It would be easier, but there's an emotional reason why they not keeping that same energy that they getting.
Yeah. Well, that was my. Anybody else got a response? If not, I'll go to the next one.
On the whole concept, first off, I want to say, like I say all the time, know who you're dealing with. If you know the person that you're dealing with, you know what to expect. And you could damn near figure out who you're dealing with. Get a general overview of who you're dealing with within the first few fucking minutes, hours of just talking to them. So you could get a general overview of that person within just talking to them in the first few minutes. So then you go to that, and then second off, don't do nothing unless you're genuinely doing it out the kindness of your heart. So you're doing it without you from me worry about everything else on the back end is whatever. You're doing this because you feel like this is what you need to do, and this needs to be done.
I'm pretty sure they wasn't expecting to get fucked.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't either.
Yeah.
But once again, when he said like there's an emotional reason, the fact that they're not taking it to the law, which means that they know this person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know who you're dealing with.
Right.
You know the type of person that you're dealing with. There's been patterns that they've shown. There's been things that they've said to show you that this is the type of person you for me.
Not if they slick as fuck.
They can try to be slick as fuck, but if they slick as fuck, you gonna know they slick as fuck. Cause they gonna do some slick shit, and you gonna be like, that shit was slick. And if they do some slick shit, and you pick up on it, they slick as fuck. How you not gonna expect them to do no slick shit later on? So it's like, know who you're dealing with. That way you won't be surprised when certain stuff happens. And as far as karma go, that bitch ain't never knocked on my door and was like, yeah, I handled so and so for you. I ain't worried about that. I just live my life, man. At the end of the day, sometimes when shit happens, it may be a story or a learning experience. Maybe not for you or the person that's doing it, but maybe for somebody else that's watching.
Okay.
So sometimes your trauma or the stuff that you go through is not about you sometimes, and we have to look at that, you know? It's bigger than us.
You ever learned a life lesson just from observation? Like you never went through it, you seen somebody else do it?
Multiple.
Most of the time.
Like I ain't smoking crack.
Most of the time, if you watch it, you learn.
Yeah. That's one thing we were born with.
Hey, I learned
The ability to watch and learn.
Right. That shit is not
Observe and learn from other people doing and their experiences and stuff. And it's only when we get older and get hard headed and start thinking that letting our ego take control that we feel like we don't have to do all that and we have the answers or we'll like. But at the end of the day, we observe and we learn.
Yep. Well, thank you, Louis. Did you answer?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, shoot, I feel like some people just react to certain things just by they different basically comprehension of that aspect of, you know what I mean? Like some people, like I said, you'll know not to do these things or get into these things already because you've seen somebody else go through it. You know, another aspect, you could have heard somebody else go through it, or you just, if for the people who don't want to say something, it could be something like self-inflicting, like you got anxiety. You want to go tell this person, you want to confront this person, but you know, anxiety is holding you back from doing it. You don't know how to do it, and you're scared of what might happen after. You know what I mean?
Big issue with people.
Exactly. So that's kind of what shoots you in the foot. You know, it's just different levels of that shit, I guess.
Yep. Because I think since this is like a real life situation, I think what you just said fit the last point you made about your topic about clarity and like if you actually viewed this person as a friend before you even gave it to them, knowing who they are, you would have known, like, you know, and maybe I can help in a different way, maybe not give them this. But I mean, because real life, this particular person had a pattern already.
No.
They had a pattern already with other fucked up shit in the same relative shit. Exactly. This didn't just come out the blue. So it was like small little things, and then the anxiety came on my end when I found out that you gave this person this. I didn't say anything. I just kind of was like,
see, and you watched it, you knew. So you
I didn't, because my thing is the deal had already been done. By the time I heard about it, it probably was already a week in, and it was already like, what they gonna do? Oh, Shay told me maybe I should get it back. Like it was already too late. I just kind of looked at it like, oh,
it's a done deal now.
In my head, I'm like, why did you do that?
But
like
you could have prepared her, like.
No, because it was already done. By the time I about it, the transaction was already maybe a week in. So I didn't know. But by the time they because, they didn't do it, when you fixing somebody's crown without telling the whole world, that's basically what happened. They just happened to mention it a week later. Someone else. The way it was mentioned, it wasn't like, well, I did X, Y, and Z. It was just in casual, like it was mentioned casually. No, it wasn't them. Somebody was like, how does so-and-so like so-and-so that you gave them? That's how it was. And I said, you get... That was it. What? So it was like an anxiety behind that because a part of me was like, well, should I say something? But then it was like, I tried to check myself, like, why do I feel like they aren't deserving of that?
So I tried to check
for them. Yeah, because I already seen the pattern. And a couple months later, fast forward, exactly the same shit. And now it's worse because it's not just them fucking up, you've involved someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the reason why I asked this question, the reason why I just said I'm gonna detour a little bit was because I felt like it was perfect segue from him. Because clarity and motivation does create room for friendship in my mind. And I feel like this situation, if they were going to truly be friends, clarity and motivation should have been established. Because what they did was something a friend would do. Because we all cited that this person was in need. And them trying to be a friend in some aspect caused them to do something friendly that is now biting them in the back. I mean, in the whatever, it's biting them basically. So if they had got clarity and caught the motivation on the other person's end, they wouldn't be fucked right now. Boop. Where are we at?
Why did you struggle on saying biting them in the ass, but then turned around and said they would be fucked?
I mean, because
and then stop the recording of herself.
Every time I say something about ass, y'all fall apart. Oh, there we go.
No, I go watch this.
We created trauma within action. She can't say ass.
How you want to talk about his ass? It's sex. And vaginas.
I'm doing it every time. Man.
She got to do that.
All three of them I have. Oop, just talked about it. Anyway, so where am I at?
You got like 15 minutes?
Oh, okay. So my next topic, as someone who has recently grown in affection towards guns, yeah, I love them now. I did, yes. Or just
like every other black kid in the neighborhood.
Oh no, but I plan on actually like doing something with this. So no, not like no for real.
Y'all got the off the record right.
No, it's not in a bad way. I promise you, it's hella good.
Edit that out.
No, it's good. It's good. I promise you. So I'm now thinking of like
starting the Black Panthers. I knew he was thinking about it all along. He was just waiting for the perfect time to get started on it.
No. So
take action.
For a while I've been wanting to like learn to defend myself, especially with firearms, because that is a prevalent mode of self-defense with people these days. They just like to go straight in the shoot and they don't fight anymore. So I was thinking, like, should I train my son? What if something ever happens where we're in a situation where my gun may be present, but mom might be hurt and he has to, defend himself? So, yes.
You know you can defend yourself with a sword?
I think you should. Thank you.
You ever thought about turning your son into an arts of sword fighting?
Yes, I've already looked into it.
You ain't never seen the little white girls on Instagram with the AKs? You ain't never seen the little white girls on Instagram with the AKs? Like, they teach their kids really young.
So can I yeah. So it then brought me to figuring like, oh, okay, it might be time for my son to know, and then eventually my daughter, right? So I've been talking to certain friends and family and shit, and I've gotten mixed reviews. Like, some people are saying, you know what, a lot of these school shooters are doing that because they were taught, and you don't want to do that. What if your kid is one of those ones that end up doing that? And I'm like, well, my children are pretty like level-headed.
My children are black.
No, I think you should.
I started looking at, the fact that I'm getting mixed reviews, and both sides to me are valid. You feel me? Because what you think your child might be ready for, they may not be. But then I also feel like adults, the same thing. I kind of look at adults as children sometimes. So well, technically we had who was that? John Muhammad, who shot up hella people. He's a sniper. He's a black man. So
John Muhammad.
yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was
The one
He was in DC, right?
yeah, it was mass shooting. But anyway, I just
he got
feel
a
like
manuscript.
who's next? Who's next?
No,
Who
go
wants to
ahead.
do there?
Because I'm listening.
So my question is, when, like, how can you basically determine that someone is ready, especially a child, when they're ready to operate a firearm? Like, what would be the main
It depends on the child.
indicators that you would feel like this child and not this child should know? Because ultimately, it is self-defense, and they may be able to disarm someone, get a gun, or the person might draw anything and then have to defend themselves. So when do you feel like they would be mature? Like, what is a sign of maturity towards using such a dangerous mode of self-defense?
I think if you are going to allow your child to like fire weapons, then that should already be decided before the baby born. Like that should already be something you know before the baby pop out. That's what we gonna train this baby to do. So after that baby is born, for like the first 12 years, you should be monitoring that nigga's emotional state. You should be really paying attention to that nigga and see if he got outbursts, seeing if this nigga is just stable and functional, just seeing if he got anger issues. And, you know, depending on what you see, and if you can determine that, okay, this one is cool, or this child is actually emotionally stable, then for sure you can start doing that. But I think, without really paying attention to those type of things, you don't kind of like, you know, you playing a gamble, you gambling with it.
I think all the while, though, I agree with what you're saying, but then I think at the same time, while you're monitoring, you should also be teaching all of your children, especially if you're going to have firearms in the home, about the safety from jump, so that everybody is well educated. Because I know her kids very well, and she knows mine very well. I know for damn sure my 10-year-old, he gonna kill us all in our sleep. But my 15-year-old, he gonna be on Instagram posing in the mirror with that shit. My 5-year-old, she's not gonna fuck with it at all. But I would still want to teach each and every one of them about like safety. And still, I think my oldest, although he'll be the one in the mirror with the shit, like if some shit pop off, he always gonna rifle his mom.
That's how I feel about it.
So Khalil, for sure.
What about the 10-year-old?
My 10-year-old is autistic, and he will kill. He'd be ready to fight me over a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
He gonna
I'm definitely gonna pop that nigga. So no.
Because that's when you said
he's not. He's not ready.
He like you.
So on that concept, you still
don't.
Right. That was
Brandon,
what's the argument?
I just showed you you can buy that shit, bro. So
you can't buy
But
that
I'm
shit.
just saying, like, I think that because I plan on getting the fire. I think we should start an alternative.
No, I've already told you guys about this.
No, but
So,
I've
already told you guys about this.
I'm coming. It's my birthday in 17 days. I'm ready to shoot some shit up. All right, you just call me. Y'all know it's my birthday month.
Okay, birthday shooter. So
He's a birthday shooter.
That's right.
when you said watch their emotional state, and once you determine, all right, let's say he doesn't have the emotional state to handle a gun. Let's say you have one child that does have the emotional state too, and one child that doesn't. Then how do you do that?
So
What do you mean? Like, how do
you teach
explain
one
to
and not the other?
They can't do it and not the other.
Yeah.
I would tell Tank, check this out, bro. Remember how you feel about
This nigga got an emotional state already.
How do I talk to my kids? Al, I talk to my kids like I talk to y'all. Check this out, bro. You are not. This is not for you. It's not for you.
it's not for you.
It's not for you. Period. Like my oldest, I'll let him know. Look, your brother, we already are full aware of what his mental state is. So I would literally have to sit him down and explain to him, like, look, you know, there are already certain laws set in place for people that have, because he's aware of everything that he has going on emotionally. So I would actually sit him down and like read with him and show him why he's not able to do it. So technically, I would just blame it on the white people and not myself.
Ooh. So
They do it to us all the
So
time.
now you finna go shoot up a white school.
No. What I'm saying is, I would sit down with my son and go over the laws and let him see, like, this is why I'm not going to let you learn at this time because blah, 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 blah. I'll let him read and see. And then we'll leave it at that. Like that. Or it's going to be because I said no.
I said no.
All right. Well, Lou.
Black mothers.
That's right.
You can't live
I'm
with
one of the last
them.
ones left.
You can't live without them.
Damn,
I
so
will
emotional
everybody
trauma.
kid that.
See, do
Don't
you
bring
have
your
an
kids to
answer?
my house if they can't get a whooping.
About
See,
training my kids with guns.
yes.
If I'm gonna train my kids with guns, I'm gonna train my kids with every other weapon there is as well.
Straight up, see.
So that's
Nunchuck.
so
Everything.
once again, to stay on topic, I didn't say that we're only going to teach them guns. I'm asking, how do you feel about training your children with guns? Your children, future children, a family member that is emotionally all over the place, whoever. Like, as of right now, how do you feel about training someone like a child or someone with a child like mine with a gun? Like, do you feel like there's
Any
indicators
child?
that they would not be ready, or any indicators that tell you when they are ready? Like, will you want to train
I would.
a minor child?
I would.
I think that me personally, yeah, and then at that point it just your kid, when they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
If you do say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in this scenario, just for clarity, this is not them saying, "Hey, can you train me?" This is you saying, "Hey, I'm about to train you."
Yeah.
Okay. So in that scenario,
And I feel like
As a mode of self-defense, even if you've taught them other shit.
because I was
Right.
like, because it really depends on how you introduce firearms to them. Like, just cause saying like some people see them through like movies and shit. Like a lot of people first see them through like. So I was just like, it really depends on how you introduce it. Like, how do you? The only example I can really give is like with weed, right? One thing I used to tell him, because my kid know I smoke, but one thing I always explain to him is like, hey, I'm medicating instead of, hey, I'm about to go get high. And he asked me, well, but what he would say is like, why do you do it? And I'd be like, hey, this eases my stress. Papa be stressed sometimes, and this helps me relax. So he understands why I do it. And like, I just switch it up a little bit. Be like, hey, I'm medicating. I'm not, So, like I said, it just depends on how you introduce it to him. And,
All right. So, anybody else? No.
No, I just feel like the same thing in there, but I feel like it depends on how you view your child. You know what I mean? Same thing. Like, is he? You feel like he's responsible enough for it? You know the differences. Also depends on you think they're able to even wield a weapon, or they physically capable of. So as well as mentally, because mentally you're gonna understand already by seeing patterns of your child. But physically, is he ready or she? You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about that. You just have to weigh every level before introducing that.
Okay. Only people that have not answered yet is
Louis?
Louis and C.
I did answer.
Yes, he did answer.
No, he asked me a question that was not the answer.
No, I didn't.
You never answered.
I said, and I quote, I would teach my child every other weapon
But that
in the
does
world.
not answer. I asked you, is there time? Like, is there any indicator that will tell you if your child is mature for guns or to where you can't train them? You saying that you would train them in other forms of self-defense is not answering that question.
It is, because they see guns at a young age.
So
in
what is the
cartoons.
indicator after training them everything else that tells you they're ready for guns?
Whenever you feel like you're ready.
So when will you know that your child is ready?
Whenever you feel like.
So what would tell you that you feel that they're ready? Because like at this point, like, do you want to
When they're watching a cartoon or when they're watching the said movie that they see the gun in. It don't matter. It don't matter what time. Any time is a good time to teach your kid to be very, enhanced in how to handle weapons.
I would say, I would add on to, I guess if you really go by like scientific terms, if you really go by like age limit, so if you're supposed to be emotionally developed by a certain age, I would probably say, in my personal opinion, I would probably wait till he's about like 16 or something before I would think about even trying to train him and like physically training him, go taking him to the shooting range. Because like I said, my son right now, he only 12 years old. Right now, in my opinion, I think it'd be way too early. Homeboy might shoot himself or shoot somebody else, not on violent shit, but just accidentally. So I would just wait until he a little bit more conscious of just how serious that shit is, you know. So
Yes.
So, hey everybody, I'm quiet for a minute. I'll start as early as possible. You want them to be able to be comfortable, and you want them to have a respect for it. And then, as a young age, yeah, they're thrilled by it. But around 6 or 8, if you guys, little shotguns, they start testing it out, they will grow a real respect of it, and they won't see it as a toy anymore, and then they will respect what it is, and it'll be up to them if they want to get better or go further inside that craft. My kid, he loves them, so I want him to respect it more for it than just to have fun with it. So in order to do that, you have to
a lot of show teams and baby teams be shooting shit up.
Right, that's because they don't have a father.
I said when I made the conscious decision that when I have my kids, before I teach them anything about a gun, they're gonna learn how to shoot a bow and arrow.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. And when they're shooting AKs at your side,
they're gonna learn how to shoot a bow and arrow first.
But I think bow and arrow would be good though, because that still teaches like precision and.
It will though.
Then they get into the guns and shit later on, around the teenage years. But before then, you're gonna do the bow and arrow, do paintball.
So once they do bow and arrow, at what point? Like, is it a year? Is it when they start doing it with their eyes closed? At what point will you know that they're ready for the next level?
You know what is crazy? That nigga shooting from down the street. Damn.
See, that's what I'm saying. This question is my bad.
What?
I was just saying because this question is so complex because it's one thing to teach them how to use a gun and it's another thing to kind of teach them or motivate them to be ready to use a gun. So those are two different things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like...
It depends on if they're introduced to them at a young age or not.
The reason...
But that's where I was going back. I'm like, these preteens and baby teens.
Because they're all introduced to guns early, but they're not introduced to other things. So it's like, I want to show them that there's other things before you can go grab a gun.
But they're not introduced to correctly.
Right.
If you can shoot a bow and arrow, you can damn near have good precision.
Yeah.
It's not introduced correctly, right? So it's introduced through negative stereotypes. It's not introduced properly. If it's introduced properly, then it'll become respected and respectfully used.
Yeah.
I forgot what your point just was because I was about to respond to it.
I was saying it was two things. You know, it's one thing to teach them how to use the gun, and then it's a whole other thing to like motivate them to be ready. Because it's like, all right, when you think about gun training, I'm thinking about like soldiers, police officers. These people are trained to kill, as opposed to training somebody to use it in self-defense. Like, how do you train firearms in self-defense? It's like most training I know is shoot to kill, like train to kill.
Well, that's the thing, because I know I'm being actually trained to use a gun. I'm not being taught by a cousin, brother. I'm trained by someone that's actually like certified to do this shit. The first thing he told us is, you don't pick this up unless you're ready to shoot to kill. You're not, or to at least back the motherfuckers off you. Right, so my thing is, I would teach my child just to know how to put it together and know how to shoot, because you may use it at some point. No. Just know you should not be picking this up unless there's a threat. Period. Yeah. That changes the reason why you picked it up.
Unless it's an imminent threat.
Right.
That you cannot
avoid. Exactly. So my thing is, it shouldn't be picked up. So if someone is saying, I'm gonna beat your ass, don't pick that up. You feel me? Now they said, I'm gonna shoot you, and they show up at your doorstep, it needs to be picked up. But just someone talking crazy to you on the internet, you know where they at, that is not shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you shouldn't teach no child, no adult to pick up a gun and they don't plan on using this motherfucker. Like, you should know it. The minute I pick this up, I know there's a good chance that I'm gonna have to shoot somebody one day. And it's literally a part of you getting your certification. That's one of the questions. So it's just kind of like, So my thing is, I'm not teaching my child to not defend themselves when they have this. They need to understand that the only reason why you would pick this up, the only reason why you would punch in this code and this lock, the only reason why you would disarm this motherfucker is because you're planning on using it. You're making sure that it's clear. You're making sure that when you pick it up, it's not it's not live and you're holding it wrong. Like, you need to know that this is an instrument that kills people. So if you ain't picking it up, if you just tossing it around and shit, you can understand that you might shoot Nye over here. You might shoot AP over here because you just playing around. So don't pick it up because you're gonna kill somebody with this motherfucker. Like, that's the number one thing that they should be taught the minute they pick it up. Whether it's a bully.
We all know kids ain't stupid.
I don't think what I said, what I meant was that a parent knows when their child understands death and seriousness and so forth, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
They understand when the kid knows what's serious and what's not. And then a trainer lets them know what situation and everything that happened is everything is a professional trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you ever worried about, there's a professional who can answer those questions. If you have any worry in the world. I mean, that's the whole point of a professional.
So that's when I think they're ready, is when you have expressed to them the severity of what danger is, what is death. They cannot come back from death. Like, explain that. Like, if they don't understand those premises and they think that watching a TV show, you can conjure somebody back to run dead on this shit, then no. Like, if they, no, for real.
Hold on, what child is running around
So I'm just whatever, like, because we be getting sidetracked on the small scenarios, but I'm just saying, like, if there's an inkling that your child does not take death seriously, then they're probably not ready, because this gun can kill someone. It can injure someone. They can't come back from this shit. They leg come off, it don't grow back. I don't give a fuck how many sci-fi movies you saw grows back. It don't happen like that in real life. So that's the fact that some people see those things and some people believe it, or it desensitizes them. They're not ready.
So,
I'm sorry.
Asking, and I'm just asking out of curiosity. Like, when I'm saying, a lot of these young cats out here, you think that they don't think that once they shoot, these niggas ain't coming back?
I think that they understand it. However, they became desensitized from it at some point. Whether it was before they shot somebody, if they ever shot somebody, from rap music, the fact that people are glorified after death in a lot of these situations, the severity of death is not impressed upon them correctly. So therefore, I would not say that those young gentlemen or those young women that pick up guns these days, they're not ready for guns. They just feel like because of wherever they're at, they've been taught that they should have one. But they are not ready to have one. They were not trained correctly and they do not understand when and how to use it. But if it's my child, I'm going to do my due diligence to tell him. Now, if he wants to go with his friends and they teach him something wrong, I probably would not know that until it's too late. However, I'm not finna sit there and not make you aware of the severity of it, because if you go to your friend's house and they got one lying around, you pick it up and you shoot them, you're gonna be in trouble, or you could kill yourself or whatever. So I just wanna, like, for me, the minute they are introduced to a gun by TV or they see one at a friend's house, or when I finally do purchase one or whatever, it's like, at the end of the day, I need them to understand that what's in this house can kill you.
Once a kid shoot,
But
just like bleach,
But,
this can kill you.
do you think,
Like,
because you taught
I
him,
wanted to say, respond to what you said though. You said about the specifically the teenagers with the guns. What was you saying about them?
I was just saying, because the whole thing I was responding to what she was saying, like, once they understand the seriousness of life and death, and I'm like, you think these 12, 13, 14-year-olds don't know once they shoot somebody that they know that these niggas ain't coming back?
yeah, they know that
See,
death is.
I feel like
you know that
that's at a different point when you in a game. Like, when the kid they not up in the game. When you're in the game, you over there looking at them like damn near like a game of tag. Like, oh, I'm gonna catch these niggas. You understand? It's like you already in the concept, but we playing tag. You feel me? That before the little kid can even understand separation and clicks and all that.
Yeah. So that's why I think proper introduction needs to be bought at home way before they play a Call of Duty game, way before they find out from their friends, way before they hear about a fucking gun on a rap song. Because all of that stuff is it's encouraged positively. So you win that mission at the end of the game. You win those points. The live congratulates you. They're not calling you a bitch ass nigga. It's not a little 14-year-old in Japan calling you a bitch ass nigga because you just lost the whole company's points. But it's just at the end of the day, at some point, even if they're not ready to physically handle one, they have to be ready to know exactly what danger that is. Because if they go to someone else's house and uncle is letting them hold a gun, they don't know that it's wrong because they're not going to teach them the same kind of way. They probably assume that you know better. Anything. You tell them about the impacts of life and death and how you're not going to come back and how, the other is all that other shit. I mean, it's not going to be no 100% perfect way to do it, but I just feel like in all things, we should be the first teachers. And I feel like that shit is most important, especially in our community. We're not telling them enough that it's not like, this is important, this is serious, and like you shouldn't be picking it up if you don't plan on shooting somebody. And if you shoot somebody, like, this is what happens or whatever. But my next question was, you end up kind of mentioning it, but and we also kind of brought it up a few times now, actually, like watching video games, listening to music, watching movies and stuff, seeing how they're mishandling guns in movies. Like, these motherfuckers are just picking up and you talking like that's really how you handle this shit. Like, these guns are heavy. They're also like, the impact is harder. These people aren't just going pew pew pew. That's not how it goes in real life. So like, do you feel like watching that type of stuff, having the toy guns at home, the laser tag, all that shit, is teaching them the improper way to handling it?
Yes.
It's teaching them the wrong scenarios on how to use it, or the outcomes is wrong. It's unrealistic. These rap songs, same thing. You just pop somebody in the head. There's no other mental anguish that comes from it. There's no PTSD that happens from it. There's no recovery, rehabilitation. What does that look like? Bullets are still inside of people. They still walk around with shit in their bodies that they can't remove or it's going to hurt or kill them. So it's just kind of like, those type of things are not being expressed. So I feel like even if you don't put the gun in your child's hand or teach them how to disassemble and assemble, at least the conversation and acclimating them to the logical part and all that part, like, should that happen? Or like, do you feel like once they're introduced to it incorrectly, is it too late?
See, this is a whole debate that's like super big debate, because this is like a debate that they talking about in like government.
Right.
But in my opinion, it's just logic versus emotion. I mean, logically, somebody ain't gonna shoot you when they know that they probably die if they do it. They're not gonna take that risk logically. But emotionally, it's like, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it's just too simple in my head.
No, that was a perfect equation. That was actually the best way to answer that question, because it is it's a balance between logic and emotion, and knowing if your kid is at that balance or not. That would be the perfect way. That would be another way to answer. I know if they're ready. So.
Yeah, at that point, then you gotta start looking at all of the rest of this shit in the world that there's only so much you can handle, and only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we way past your 30 minutes. Lou, you a bad timekeeper, bruh.
Well, I told you guys I was gonna do 30 minutes, so I supplied my delivery. But I think there is no wrong answer, so it wasn't like a judgment question or anything. FYI.
That's the wrong answer.
No, because there's no wrong answer. Like, I feel like everybody's level already is different. Like, there's adults that still do not have the mental and emotional capacity to handle a gun. They also don't even physically grasp how to even handle a gun. Like, they could be taught multiple times what they're supposed to do, and they're still handling it wrong. I just was on a camping trip with someone that kept flinging a gun with 5 rounds in it. Just flinging this motherfucker. And then he threw one of the fucking bullets in the fire. So it was just, at the end of the day, I feel like that was a perfect example of, I'm gonna teach my child early. Now, somebody else could feel like, hey, once they about to come out of my house or whatever. I just, that's it.
The earlier the better. Like I said, it builds character and they build a respect for any child that shoots a gun is gonna respect it. Ain't no that child's gonna be, oh shit, yeah, I'm about to go shoot somebody. They gonna respect the fuck out that gun, regardless. Once they shoot their first gun, they gonna respect it, and they gonna know. They already know what it comes with. Your child. I mean, we have to understand these kids are smart as hell. Like we acting like these kids ain't smart. I know some of them they like to play off because they want to tell you, act like they're not smart to you. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't got to do what you said. But these motherfuckers is smart. They not retarded. They not slow.
The world is bigger. Show them how to spit dart.
I understand what you're saying.
Everything, whatever.
What we're doing is we're not just doing self. We're doing the real gun control. So what we're doing is really we're giving to them early to where they can understand what this is. Because if they don't understand or have or grasp, like you said, the reality of how it can take someone's life, if they don't understand it early, then I don't think, later on, it's just going to be pure emotions because he's already going to have built his mind, his state of mind already. So nothing that is going to change. But if he learned it earlier, he's still, no matter what goes on in his life, he's still going to respect that, that thing, regardless if he chooses how to use it.
Yeah, because there's kids that's taught boxing and understand that their hands are deadly. And they won't use them motherfuckers. They will not, no matter how mad you get them, they will not use them because someone taught them your hands can kill.
Or they might be licensed.
So other modes of self-defense is still the same thing. So even if y'all keep trying to veer it away from gun control, y'all want to start talking about shooting people with fucking slingshots, no matter which way it goes, that motherfucker can kill somebody too. So at what point do you know that your child is ready to kill?
Cooking. I'm saying.
Period.
That's a whole different question.
But that was one of my other ones. But it's just like at the end of the day,
that's the same question.
That's not the same question.
I said the same. There's all type of weapons in the world, bro.
It is the same question. However, that was the reason why y'all kept trying to veer it back to, well, what if I wanted to use a sword? What if I wanted to use a sling? It don't matter. Once you realize that you're doing it for self-defense, you should always be thinking that I can kill this person. Right. Period. Self-defense ain't, I'm going to get them to see my side and we're going to stop fighting because I'm going to beat their ass so bad. No, there's a good chance that even if you fight this person with your fist, you could kill them. So when are you ready to teach your child? To kill somebody?
Don't nobody think that they can kill a nigga.
But you should. You should. There should be no reason why you're defending yourself and not understanding that there's a good chance you might kill this person. Period. Because you can you can box and still punch that person to the point where they hit the end of that table and they can die. You feel me? That is still a form of, murder. When are you ready to teach your child to kill? That's the premise. That's the overall.
That's something that should be taught early. Like you were saying, that's early. When you phrase it like that, then yeah.
But that's the thing. I kind of, because I wanted to do my 30 minutes, so learn to kill.
Only the parent knows.
When I see the first dead cat in the backyard.
God damn it.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
How did he kill the cat?
And that's gonna be over with. By the time he kill a cat, brother, he's done.
Yeah, that's sociopath.
He's gone.
But what if he don't kill a cat by accident?
All right, but let's stick to the structure though.
But what if
C, do you have a topic? C been kind of low key quiet, right?
Y'all got a topic?
What's up, C?
What are your 3 prize
Set
possessions?
this nigga timer, please. Time people.
We probably ain't even gotta do no timer.
3 prize possessions right now. Okay, that's your 3 prize possessions. Anybody else got other 3 prize possessions? Let me hear some more.
My dick and my 2 balls.
3 prize possessions. Anybody else? Anybody else? Nobody else?
Yes, my children, Talia and Khalil, in my mind.
Beautiful. Anybody else?
He didn't give me this. He didn't give me this shit for nothing.
My life, my spirituality, and I guess my experiences.
That's what's up. Yeah. Anybody else?
My mind, my child, and my goals.
You know what?
Your kids is not a possession.
Everybody else?
Yes, they are. They are always.
They are not things.
Well, they're possession out of being when they had to push them out of a coochie.
Period. I birthed a 10-pound.
Once we push them out, they took space in our bodies for 9 months, and then they leech off our bodies for 2 more years.
Shit.
Anybody else?
My broke little roommates.
Both of my kids breastfed for almost 2 years. That they are my possessions.
How'd you come up with this topic?
Anybody else?
What's Seed's pride possession?
Are we gonna have a dialogue?
My son, my music, and my genuineness. Now, since we got everybody out the way, since nobody else want to go, what are your 3 wishes? Let me hear some 3 wishes now. Anybody?
to
Three
remain
wishes.
fuck nigga free all 2021.
You wish that? You wish
Fuck
to be?
nigga free.
Okay.
Y'all want to hear a song?
I just need 3 wishes. I don't want to hear no songs. I just need 3 wishes. Anybody else? 3 wishes.
Okay.
Anybody else? 3 wishes.
I wish for infinite wishes till I die.
Infinite wishes till you die. I like that one. What
She
else?
wasn't done.
I got 2 more.
You start singing.
I'm sorry. To remain fuck nigga free all the rest of my life.
Okay.
To make sure that all of the values and morals and things that I instilled in my children remain in them until I die.
Louis.
And to be fine as fuck like my mama, because she's 66 and she hella fine.
Straight the fuck up. Anybody else? 3 wishes.
I wish for infinite wishes till I die. I wish for infinite wishes till I die. I wish. I'll save that second wish.
What? No.
My third wish. I wish we would all stop fighting and get Stevie out of jail.
Stevie?
Kanye.
You gonna love me, Stevie?
That's Stevie.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mimi, I see you with that little maid outfit.
Free Bobby Chef Smurder.
Hey,
This is a quote that I heard, and it went like, wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see what you come out with first. I don't really see that point in wishing.
So you don't have
Well,
wishes.
then he wish he had more shit in his hand.
Whoa.
Right? That's what that sound like to me. Nobody else got no wishes. No wishes at all.
Anyone that's ever changed a diaper, you've got shit on your hands.
He wish he had more of that.
No wishes.
I would like to give my wishes. I wish that all of my wishes are always granted, and I also wish that all children are safe from spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical abuse.
Yes.
I believe with that wish, all other shit will be eradicated that is harmful to everybody because no one would be doing it. And then 3, I wish to be able to acquire anything I want outside of things that harm other people.
Do you this is a side card thing.
Oh, sure.
How did you get the name Action?
Oh, how do I get action?
Yeah.
Oh, because when I used to have my first Facebook page, I used to make, I guess, like hella poppin' ass posts, and it always would result in either somebody exposing somebody or somebody getting into it. For some reason, I don't know why that would happen.
Anybody got more wishes?
I'm not finna keep getting cut off. Like, that's crazy. Like your whole thing gonna go to 30 minutes. You know it's not. So yeah, that's where it came from. It was always action under one of my posts. So I said, hey, action.
So you didn't get action for your activists?
No, sir. I was already action. But I was always somebody that always spoke up for myself and others. So that's always been me.
I didn't come up with this topic.
Did everybody answer? I don't think everybody answered.
I think
If there are 3 wishes, everybody that wanted to answer.
I think everybody volunteered.
Well, imagine all your wishes coming true, but your prime possessions are suffering. Imagine that.
Oh shit, nigga, no.
You gotta get your balls and dick off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I saved the second wish though. I saved the second wish though. I wish them bitches back.
I'm ready to answer that question.
I'm wishing them bitches back. What you mean?
I'm ready to answer that question. So, I know that my prized possessions would not suffer because, for one, I just wish for all children to not be harmed physically, spiritually, emotionally, and emotionally.
Yeah.
And emotionally?
I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Emotional times 2, nigga.
Yeah, whatever. So basically, since I just wished for that, my children cannot suffer. They cannot.
I feel that. But ain't no loophole in it.
No. There wasn't no loophole. That is the reality. If my
What are your prized possessions
If
though?
my wish is granted, my children would not suffer because I wish for no children to suffer.
But what are your prized possessions though?
My prized possessions were my children.
Okay, then so they're gonna suffer. regardless.
cannot
All the other
separate-
children are gonna be healed, but your kids gonna
They
suffer.
cannot separate because
Only way they not going, only way they not going, you renounce your wish from the jump. Imagine that.
But
That's the only way.
there's no
renounce your
clause
wish.
in all children.
Nah.
There's no clause in all children.
He just gave a rules
But
his scenario.
But my thing is, he just fucked up with his own question. You know, since he wanted to build it last minute.
I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
She's
so
always
my
right.
thing is, no, I am because
Okay.
anybody that I said all children,
All
all
right,
children.
all
So
right,
my
so
wish
if he
was
did-
anybody that I said all children,
All
all
right,
children.
all
So
right,
my
so
wish
if he
was
did-
always blanket all children.
if he did the correct parameters.
I'm sorry, I'm the loophole because that was my wish. You should have told
It-
us don't
it-
do that.
It will forever work. It will forever work the way action says.
Yeah, because I said all children. So my children
Fuck your
are my
parameters.
child. I mean, I for all children. My children
Not all
included in
children
all.
your prized possessions though.
But I still included my children in
'Cause
that.
you said
I said
prized
all
possessions.
children.
That's specific.
I
But
say
my
the second
children are
wish.
included in my wish.
Only
so
way you can
therefore
stop
they
it is
cannot
you renounce
suffer.
I still got one wish saved up, bitches.
My children cannot suffer.
So what can we go
Loophole.
on to part 2 of your question? What was part 2 of your question?
What if all your
Go see Wonder Woman. The movie Wonder Woman is a great movie, y'all. I went to go see it.
the new one?
Yeah, the new Wonder Woman, 1984.
Saucy.
I got HBO Max. What's up, my cousin? Yeah,
That's how you got this topic?
Yeah, Wonder Woman. I went to go see
I'm gonna
it.
go watch it now.
That shit
That's
was
saucy.
stupid. I ain't gonna lie, it was a great movie. I seen that and I also seen Souls. Where do you think all your personalities come from?
Soul is so cute.
Yeah, that's my question. My next question. Where do you think all your personality come from? Like honestly.
My personality?
Yeah, like every little trait in your motherfucking head, because we know there's a lot of it. Every little trait in your motherfucking head. Where do you think that comes from?
They come from little Disney characters writing on the inside of you?
I say one is one is
Yeah, I don't know.
your past life, and two is that the unconscious programming that you get from your parents, like your mama screaming or your daddy doing certain shit. So those two things make your
I'm
personality.
gonna sit real close. I'm
Okay.
on free.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things like a combination of your parents, and then that would probably explain like your conscious personality, your subconscious, and that could be like deeper than your DNA, like deeper down in the bloodline and shit like that. So
It's actually a good question. I should have more time on it.
Well, go ahead and speak your piece.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We got a whole
Shit, I'll shut him up
That's
again.
why he said he
He
wished
liked
he
to
had
shut
more
up.
time on it.
We
You
got
like to shut
We
up.
got a whole 30 minutes.
You like to shut
Damn
up.
near.
That's why he said.
Damn near.
Well,
26 minutes
well,
or something.
well, didn't you see Soul?
Yeah.
Okay, so elaborate on it. That's what I was
But he
talking
just
about.
said he wanted
So
to
was
answer.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Wish
He
he had
never
more
would
time.
answer.
I hella love
Did you
Soul.
see it? Let's elaborate more on it.
He need more time.
Okay, so you want me to give the backstory?
I mean-
You said elaborate, so get a backstory.
That's what we talking about right now. That's what I brought up.
No, you said what?
You, okay, you first
we
said
think
you want
your-
to answer me.
have
You
you
said
seen it?
elaborate on.
No, wait. You said have anybody seen Soul so they could have a reference or they could understand the question, which is where do you think your soul come from?
Not your soul.
I mean your personality come from.
All right, so your question.
So once you
I
said
So you
elaborate.
didn't get the
I'm
question.
talking about-
No, I just wanted to elaborate. I mean,
So
there's so much
are
to
we
say with
elaborating on the backstory of the movie for the people
No,
that didn't
that was
see
just a
it, or
setup.
are
That
we-
was just a setup so you understand where the question is going because the movie was based about your personality and finding your soul. You got to find your soul to get to Earth.
Well,
But your personality, they had little
It
bigger
was-
shit.
a little deeper than that.
Yeah,
I got way more
shit
from
that I
that.
used to be doing. Like it was saying, like it depended on like the day you was born and shit like that. You feel me?
I
Your
got
zodiac sign.
way
gotta play a
more
little
than that.
bit of a
From
little
that.
bit of it. You know what I mean? So, what time of the day? What time of the day or night you was born? Play into it. You feel me? The season you was born in. Play
Yeah,
into it.
you know
feel
what?
me? So it's a lot of different things that go into your personality.
that's what
Yeah.
The astrology.
May I ask, where did y'all see this movie?
Netflix.
Really?
No,
So
that's
Disney-
Oh wait, no, it's Disney Plus.
Because I'm like, I've been looking at everything new dropping on Netflix, and I for sure didn't see
I've been
that.
watching Imposters.
Have you guys watched
That's old.
Utopia on Amazon?
Who?
Utopia.
Hold on, but would you went to the great beyond, or would you have reincarnated?
Oh man.
The way the movie turned out. How was it reincarnated?
It was about 2 weeks.
It was a good movie. I ain't gonna lie. For sure.
It's hella good.
Hey, but
And it was morally
it's a trip,
good,
though,
like-
that they actually making movies that's talking about like the spiritual and the soul and like
That's
all of
just
that
like
stuff.
people
And
making
then it's focused on kids. So like the next 10 years, these kids got like a reference point to think about and bounce ideas off of. Like it's crazy.
Would you have went to the great beyond, or would you have reincarnated?
Me?
Yeah.
I would have reincarnated.
What about you?
I would have stayed a cat though. I'm sorry.
It's
Ooh.
That nigga would have stood there and looked for a minute. What do I want to do?
it's because I got a different understanding of it. So it's like you want to come back because to learn something. But once you experience and learn everything that there is to learn, you get bored with it and you're ready to go to the great beyond. So I feel like it depends on that person's soul and how much they've elevated in the process.
Okay. But I was saying, what would you have done?
Me?
That nigga gave a whole insight.
Because
a whole insight. No answer, bro.
I feel like if I live this life right, I don't need to come back.
I feel it. Okay.
But in that moment that you had to make that choice.
No, because I feel like
you would have went to the great beyond.
You
would have reincarnated.
Yes. At that point, because I ain't know enough. Yes, because I had to go figure it out.
You would have reincarnated at that point.
Yes.
It would have taken you this long to make a decision. I think the right choice would have been.
I mean, when they was on that slow ass escalator, I think you would have had enough time.
Right, to think about it and be like, you know what, on second thought, I'm gonna go back there.
He would have gotten to this point where he would have been like, you know what, reincarnated.
I don't know.
What about you?
God damn, that nigga is long.
I thought it was two people.
Look, get the nigga coat. Just say that you look at that nigga coat. That's what we were saying to you. You thought it was right.
All right, Louis. So it's your turn. Would you have reincarnated, or would you have went to the great beyond?
Girl.
All right. So basically, the question is, when you die, would you stay dead, or would you reincarnate?
I think it's time for me to put my mask.
Mine's gonna fall good. I'm just like, you got one?
So you gone to the great beyond then? How you feel about it?
So it's crazy. So in the moment of me not watching that movie, nothing, I would go to the great beyond. But watching the movie, well, in the moment, yeah, I'll go to the great beyond. But after watching the movie, man, my bad.
You see the movie?
Yeah, I seen the movie. After watching the movie, he got a whole nother understanding. Because in the beginning, of course, he didn't want to go to the great beyond only because he finally got what he thought he wanted in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why he pushed the issue so hard to get his ass back on Earth.
Right.
But then again, after doing all the shit, just let the movie, fast forward, he finally got what? Oh shit! Never mind.
No, shit.
I was right with you.
Nah,
I got lost. You lost me.
Nah, because some of y'all didn't watch the movie, so I'm really.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was like, are we gonna get the backstory to the movie?
I don't have Disney Plus, so you can go
or
ahead.
are we just gonna keep bringing up terms and characters that no one knows?
If it was my decision, I think I would have went to the great beyond.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even really, that's hard to make that decision. Out of here, like this.
Now, based off the movie, was it fun not being in the great beyond?
You really didn't get to see
Was the
Great
movie
Beyond.
like a fun type of movie?
You didn't get to see the great
Nah,
beyond.
it wasn't even fun up there.
So it wasn't like a happy, like.
Where everybody's name was Jerry. Everybody's name was Jerry.
Oh yeah, I'm sending me to the great beyond.
It was a saucy movie, bro.
This world is versatile
And
enough.
then,
It's still
it was different little aspects in that movie to just sum it up as personalities. I don't think it does it justice. It spoke of reincarnation. It spoke of when we all die, we're all the same person. I mean, we're all the same. It also brought up people feeling like they're not done or they died too soon. Like they spoke of that. They spoke of people who has people that don't believe in their dreams, so they start chasing something that they didn't even really want all along. It was that. it was also the fact that there was mentorship. So even when it was a spirit there in the before, or I forgot what it's called, but the beyond or some shit. He ended up becoming a mentor for selfish reasons, but he taught her to be inspired at some point, like someone that everyone else deemed as untrainable. She got inspired by someone who was just really trying to get back on earth just to finish this one thing, like to see it through. And it's like for me, if we're gonna talk about personalities, the Great Beyond is completely different.
I'm not gonna lie. This is just my personal opinion. I'm not looking to debate about it, but I feel like it's an agenda going on with all these shows directed towards these kids, and just in period, with all these shows and movies coming out in which they are demonizing God and religion. Be that as it may, I'm dead serious, because there's a lot of movies and shows that I'm seeing that when it comes to God or whatnot, they make him seem like he's a bad person or a terrible person, or he's making terrible decisions. And then when it comes to demonic or demon or negative traits and stuff, they want to make it seem like it's not as bad as it really is.
So in regards to this type of movie,
I feel like it's, when you say like just the whole, whatever you were saying about we all go to a certain place, just the whole talk and like the concept of the great beyond in this whole thing is some type of agenda or concept that's being pushed. Like I said, I'm not trying to debate about it.
No. It's not a debate, but I feel like since we are going to go off topic to get where you're coming from, and because I see the great beyond the way it was being described as heaven. So my thing is, if in religion, not only Christianity but in Islam and Buddhism, there's a form of heaven, even though they speak of it more in the mind. There's an aspect of heaven everyone is trying to obtain. This person was scared to go there because he thought he died too soon. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people fear on earth. Like, I don't want to die before I finish X, Y, and Z. And then later on, they may not ever acquire it. So if they should die before that time, or before other people view it's not time, because people didn't even, he wasn't even dead at first. At first, he was in a coma. So it was just kind of like he was on his way there to die. And it was just like, when do we, I guess to honor your observation or your question, what part of that is demonized? Because they never really touched it. Yeah, but my thing is based on, because we didn't give him a backstory and we're talking around him. So I'm trying to give him a little bit more understanding on what that great beyond was. It sounded more like heaven. And he was scared to go there because he didn't think he was done. And a lot of people feel that way, like, I don't want to die until I see my kids get married, finish college, become successful. Or I don't want to die before I get this degree, or before I lose whatever. Like, you feel me? People feel like they have to get these things done, and that was his dilemma. So even in the process of him being scared to die, he inspired a future generation to do something. He also realized that he was running back to earth to obtain something that wasn't even his dream. So it was just kind of like that. To me, that was pretty deep, and I don't feel like it demonized religion. If anything, it's basically keeping us more on a solid thing. Do what you enjoy, but don't make that it also was keeping him from living. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you enjoy, but still live. Like, still find a meaning to life itself, not just to what pleasures you. Like, that's what I got from it.
I agree.
The best things in life are free. That's what it was.
And then I got another question, AB, because basically, in that sense, no. If we're gonna talk about spirits and great beyond and stuff, to feel that demonizes God, why? Because in a sense that means, and then you said that the other part was demonic. Why is that deemed demonic when even in religion, not just Christianity, but in Islam, in other religions, heaven, a state of mind being in heaven, being scared of death, where even Jesus in certain aspects has to, I guess, give people, an understanding of going to heaven, you know what I'm saying, or going back to your father to God. So my thing is that was basically what that was a part of. So like, what part of spirituality is demonic? When even in religion they speak of a form of spirituality. Does that make sense?
He's talking about other shows.
Huh?
He's talking about other shows.
Well, no. But as of right now, we were talking about soul, and based on the details we gave him, he was saying that some parts was demonic and other parts was demonizing God.
And since he hasn't seen the show, he was talking about other shows.
Right, but he also was going off of some of the details we gave about this particular show. So my thing is, what part of spirituality makes it to the point where it demonizes God or it is demonic? Because the great beyond, for some, might be something complete, like reincarnation, right? The Bible might not specifically talk about reincarnation outright, but there are forms of it. So, like, what part of that is demonic? What part of going to the great beyond is demonic? And this is without, I'm at least hoping that I am not making what your observation is wrong. I just want to get a better clarity on what part of that is demonic or anti-God. You know what I'm saying? If at some point even Christianity speaks of spirituality or those terms, even if it's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
It sounded like there was a trigger for you.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, like, based on, we said something, you said that it was anti-God, basically. They're demonizing God. So that's a trigger for you in the instance. So I'm saying, for me to understand you and to understand where you're, right. So even in those instances,
What other shows were we talking about?
Because we weren't
He's talking about other shows because he hasn't seen that show.
Okay.
It's very easy.
So even
He
though,
says he's not going to debate it because he's not going to debate the show he hasn't seen.
okay,
So he says, I'm talking about these other shows.
right. So that means he's seen a similarity in this show to even bring up those shows. So I'm asking, based on the details we gave him, it triggered him or it caused him to think of other shows. So what part of those terms are demonic and how is it anti-God? That's not a trigger for me. This is me trying to understand. This is someone who has gone to church, has gone to the mosque, has converted to Buddhism, has still taken on certain aspects of Christianity that I still hold. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to understand what part of that
When people say things,
is demonic or
People are
anti-God.
saying things and they haven't. So when people say things, they take what they're
She
saying.
was asking that.
So I'm asking what part is demonic or anti-God.
And I'm trying to help you understand. It has nothing to do with that.
But it did. Once he said that show and other shows, he was taking some details from what we described. Even as someone that did not watch it, the details we gave, since we didn't.
Reminded him.
But,
Right.
but
So,
okay,
so
we did like
moving
hella
soul,
takeover
moving
scene
soul
segment
apart.
though, because
But
this was
that
his
was kind
30
of
bits.
gonna happen because we were basically asked yes or no questions, and
But
we're
no, he had a
into
deeper
dialogue.
meaning to it though. Nobody even got to really answer though.
I answered mine.
Because he was like, would you really sacrifice your prized possessions for your three wishes?
This one is about soul and personality.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, you started talking about Great Beyond, and I think
We
the
started-
brother over here started
But
talking
we
about something.
elaborated more on the movie, which I also want to do.
But it had nothing to do with personality,
It's just
so
soul.
we being got off. But the
Personality.
movie didn't really, it touched a small part of personality. So that's just why I was like, are we going to give them a backstory? Because the movie, it was a small part of personality, more on purpose, inspiring the next generation, and conforming, not conforming to what others feel you're supposed to be and shit like that. So once we actually, like, if everybody would have watched the movie, it would have been one thing. But based on the terms we gave him, which was kind of an unfair assessment because now we're now on something else.
Demonic.
Right, and that's where we got demonic. So that's why I'm just asking him what part of that demonic is in major religions. They speak of those same terms. No, since now we're veering off. What part of
No, we
those
just
would
looped
be
back.
demonic or
the whole
anti-God?
conversation back around. We had to bust the
Simple.
bitch. That's what we just did.
And that's without calling anything of his belief demonic or anti-God. Because at the end of the day, I subscribe to certain parts.
Also, January 10th, American Gods come back. I'm about to get y'all
I
back
hate
caught up
that
to that.
show. I hate
That's
symbolism
I'm
behind it.
not looking forward to it. I ain't gonna lie.
Don't forget January 19th, the real nigga was born.
Oh, yeah.
She said January 19th, the real nigga was born.
That nigga over there who is real was born on January 19th.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to think
okay.
you.
That nigga.
Anyway. What else we got planned for January? Tell them what we got planned, y'all.
Shit, my son's birthday the 4th.
Oh.
My wife's birthday the 6th.
Oh.
My mom's birthday the 10th.
Oh, you
Just
Her
hella
mom.
Capricorn.
Yeah, her mom.
yes,
birthday the
you are
11th.
surrounded by the best people ever.
Oh my God.
We finna start doing Cypher Sundays, y'all. On Sundays, we finna start just doing ciphers, bro. We're gonna do it once a month, bro. Hosted by yours truly. It's a Cali made ABO thing. Stay tuned, bro. Let y'all know now. That's what we got planned for the new year, 2021. What else we got planned this year?
January, we'll be getting our W-2s.
You feel me?
We don't know how that's gonna go.
Nah.
Because a lot of things are changing. A lot of people, another reason why I just said that is because this W-4, the change in the W-4 has, it's already impacted people. It was impacting people, I think, I started
Already
seeing.
went through?
What?
Already went through?
The new W-4s has been going on for a whole year.
Oh, no, that's not.
No, so that's.
I the tax on Biden. I thought you talking his tax.
No.
Yeah,
I'm saying the fact that people had to basically do their own tax exemption math.
Which is the W.
Right. But with the original W-4, remember it was just a small little box. The biggest math that you had to do was just claim your exemptions on box 5. So you could usually say myself as head of household, 2 children, maybe status 3. I might do status 2, I might do status 5, but you understood what you were checking off. On this new W-4, maybe most people haven't had to do it in this room because you might have been consistently working at the same job, so you ain't have to change shit. But if you started,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
well, most people don't have to change every year.
Well, I change it because every 3rd or 4th quarter I go exempt.
Right. So, but even in those instances, like to change your whole shit or like go back and all that shit, like most people don't have to, they don't change yearly, so they wouldn't have known a difference in the W-4. But I know January 1st of 2020, most people were like looking at 2 papers instead of 1 square, and it was very confusing, and they were filling it out wrong. And even at my job, I have to stand there and tell grown people how to fill it out because it's intimidating.
Are they trying to go exempt or what are they trying to fill out?
No, just W-4, period. Like it's 2 pages now. So it's state and federal, and 1 lone box is what normally would have been on 1 line of the original W-4. Now it's a whole nother page, and then the DE-4, which is the one that you now put what box 5 was. So it's just kind of like, it's going to impact a lot of people. I'm curious to see. I've seen some people already, taxes not being taken out right, no taxes being taken out. The W-4 is being rejected because you filled out 1 page and not the other one. Or jobs just arbitrarily just doing what they want to do. So it's just like, and then HR not even knowing how to read the shit, so they keep sending it back to people, and it's nothing even wrong with the paper. So it's just like, I'm interested to see how this tax season will go, basically.
Well,
That's what
it sounds like.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna go off the previous year anyway, so.
Right, so 2020.
Right.
So the W-4 of this last year, 2020, that's the issue. So this year when they file their taxes, they filled it wrong, or HR don't know how to interpret it correctly, they're finna be fucked. They're finna be fucked like that.
I want to take this time to also have an announcement to all musicians, please. All musicians, please tap in with any of the Revamp cats. We're finna start this thing called a shed. Yes, you probably heard of it. In layman's terms, it's called a jam session. You can come and perform live. Live instruments. We want you to come and express that talent, show that talent. We want to record it on our YouTube channel, for content, So please tap in with anybody on this page, at least especially me at seed_finally_on_IG. More Revamp coming to you. We don't never stop. We can't stop. Diddy ain't got nothing involved with this. We're just getting better. That was a good show. I like that one. We should have another one. I'll see y'all next week.
So me and Coltrane will be at this shed.
You feel me? Yes, we need that. Make sure y'all tune in too. We didn't forget about y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
You thought you was on camera.
It's always on.
You love the camera.
It's always on.
Allow AP to do his side, bro.
It's 9:55.
But we started late.
Y'all started.
But do y'all?
Well, just cut the music out like you been on everybody else. Sorry.
I'm just saying, we was on time.
What time y'all started?
We was here at 7.
Who was we, bro? Why you didn't start?
We
I
did start.
felt it. Not in the
Who was we? And why you didn't start?
Main host. I mean, people was here. Who cares?
Y'all started?
Oh my, so when I be here,
I said who was here, but you were late again. I mean, I'm not gonna speak on that. But you had errands around.
Okay, we just getting the show, y'all. We having stuff online. We can't have these conversations online. You know,
See, it always go late.
next week.
we'll see y'all next week. You know, we don't have these
so
conversations
we're not gonna do
online.
AP stop it.
How many seats?
Well, we ain't got enough time. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh shit! Thanks for having me, y'all.
It's almost like the time I got gonged.
Or the time we were doing your podcast.
You just turned on the music.
Drop the beat.
Or that time he told me to shut the fuck up with the machete.
Oh.
He had no. He did not.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He had the machete.
Good times.
He
Good
did a machete
times.
on live.
Good times. Who needs to play Vice City? You guys are a walking Vice City. You hear it? A whole machete though.
It was on live.
That's Vice City. L1, R1 left there.
But y'all can't act like I be over here.
Right
Y'all be doing shit.
Covidius.
Good night.
Yes, I'm not.
Good night.
I'm not trying for